Section 71. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang Hao nodded slightly, took out the soul-slaying sword, and said, "Please let the real person check it." Master Baoqing took it, stretched out his hand and touched it twice, then injected a burst of true energy, the spirit-cutting sword roared, and a flash of inspiration suddenly appeared. "Ha! This old man can actually activate the soul-slaying sword." Wang Hao was surprised, wondering if Master Baoqing was also practicing multi-attribute skills. Yes, the Metal Earth attribute spiritual sword is really rare, and its power is extraordinary. Master Baoqing put down the spirit-slaying sword. "You can also change it to a dust-falling pill." Wang Hao was about to say thank you when he heard Master Baoqing say again, "I see that the fragrance of alchemy is overflowing from my little friend's body. I'm afraid he has successfully advanced to the second level of high-grade alchemy master. Do you have any disciples? I won't go around in circles with you. I have recruited some disciples over the years, but they are all ineffective. I would like to join my disciples and learn alchemy from me, little friend." This junior's qualifications are average. Being able to become a second-level alchemist is all a matter of luck. May I ask why the master wants to accept this junior as his disciple? Wang Hao asked with a strange look. This was the first time he met the Master Baoqing. Could it be that the secret of the amazing skeleton was discovered? It's not funny. Hey, little friend, there is no need to be modest. There are only a handful of people who have become second-level high-grade alchemists at your age. Even compared to me, you are not far behind. You don't have to worry. I just want to leave some legacy to pass on. I can take care of these incompetent descendants in the future. With my guidance and my little friend's talent and diligence, it will not be difficult to become a third-level alchemist." Master Baoqing said slowly and seductively. When he talked about his alchemy skills, he was also very happy and quite proud. Wang Hao frowned and pondered. He had been taught alchemy by Wang Yanfeng and Wang Yanzhao before, but after the second level, they could no longer give Wang Hao much help. It would be so difficult to become a third-level alchemist. If he hadn't obtained the alchemy cauldron, with the inheritance of the sect, it is impossible for him to become a second-level high-grade alchemist now. Chapter 136 Dust Falling Pill. Now Master Baoqing has extended an olive branch, and the only condition is to take care of his descendants. This deal is a good deal. Of course, with the title of master and apprentice, Wang Hao will also work for Baoqing Pavilion. This is the obligation of a disciple. Wang Hao was a little moved and decided to ask carefully. "Senior, there are many foundation-building monks in Vientiane City, why would Senior choose me?" Master Baoqing said calmly, "I won't hide it from you. In the early years, I refused to be solicited by various forces and offended many people. I don't have good connections in Vientiane City. It's okay to do some business. If you become my disciple, many people will I have some scruples. Besides, there are many foundation-building monks. How many alchemists are there? I can't choose a group of children to teach them from an early age, right? I have found 2 suitable ones besides you, but the alchemist is not the only one. Only those who are good at alchemy and can form pills can maintain this inheritance, so I want to gather 5 people to teach together." Wang Hao nodded and reluctantly accepted Master Baoqing's answer. As for whether it was true, he could just ask back later. It's not difficult, and the other party probably wouldn't lie to him. "Senior, can you give me some time to think about it?" Master Baoqing nodded in agreement. "Yes, I used to be a casual cultivator. I understand my caution. If you agree, you can come to me at any time. If I am not here, just inform Mrs. Su and she will notify me. But Xiao Yu, you should also pay attention to the time. No matter how many suitable disciples you find after 3 years, I will start teaching. If you miss it, you will miss it." "Senior, what about the dust-falling pill?" Wang Hao will not forget the biggest purpose of his coming here. Although the value of the falling dust pill is about the same as that of the soul-severing sword, it cannot be calculated that way. The magic weapon is rare but can still be bought by spending spiritual stones. The pill-formed spiritual objects are really priceless. Wang Hao was afraid that Master Baoqing would be unhappy with his hesitation and would not sell him the dust-falling pill. Master Baoqing smiled and said, "Apprenticeship is apprenticeship, business is business. If you can bring out the beast-nurturing pill and the spiritual fruit tree, plus this spirit-slaying sword, you can exchange it for a dust-falling pill. Of course, the dust-falling pill, the value cannot be measured by spirit stones. If you are willing to become a disciple now, I can give you 2 dust-reducing pills immediately and only charge the cost price." That this temptation was great, and Wang Hao almost agreed. Master Baoqing said again, "Okay, my little friend is destined to be with me, so I will sell you one. You can discuss the specific price with Mrs. Su in detail. These things are worth 370,000 spirit stones, and the dust-falling pill is only worth 200,000. I hope their hearts are not too dark." Even though Wang Hao was prepared for the opponent to open his mouth, the price offered by Mrs. Su made his teeth hurt. "Mrs. Su, the auction is only about 200,000 spirit stones. It's a bit too shameful for you to charge 250,000. Can it be cheaper?" Mrs. Su was unmoved. "Fellow Taoist Han, you can't say that. If we put it at auction, it will attract a large number of monks. Other goods will be much easier to sell and the price will be higher. The value created alone is higher than the dust-falling pill itself." Too much. Wang Hao naturally understood the truth, and in the end he had no choice but to accept the price. In addition to the dust-falling pill, Mrs. Su also gave Wang Hao 3 foundation-building pills, each worth 40,000 yuan, which is also very dark. Wang Hao was so angry that he almost banged the table and said how much more labor and wages this thing cost. The charming Mrs. Su has made a lot of money this time. The blue moon Xuanhuan fruit, the beast-nurturing pill, the spirit fruit tree, and the soul-slaying sword are no less attractive than the dust-falling pill when put at auction. Maybe if the operation is done well, you can earn more. A quarter of an hour later, Wang Hao appeared in a blue stone square. There were many stalls in the square. Yes, he came to the casual cultivator square again and decided to make up for his losses by picking up the missing ones. The goods on these stalls are very diverse, including magic tools, talismans, elixirs and other immortal cultivation items. Of course, sometimes you can find some good things, which depends on your eyesight. Wang Hao has had several experiences and thinks his eyesight is still good. The top-grade magic tools are sold at a low price, only 100 spirit stones. The 80-year-old sunflower has a good root system and can continue to be planted. Don't miss it if you pass by. From time to time, stall owners shouted loudly to attract business, but most of them still sat quietly behind the stalls, just putting a sign next to the things they sold and marking the price. It was no different from the Qingye market, except that the scale was larger and foundation-building cultivators were more common. Wang Hao no longer cared about these first-level goods, and quickly passed by with the flow of people. Not long after, Wang Hao arrived at the center of the square. "What the hell, you liar, I've been planting it for a month, and there's no sign of germination." "Don't talk nonsense, this seed is still alive, it's because you planted it the wrong way if it didn't germinate." "Nonsense, what kind of seeds won't germinate when planted on a third-level spiritual vein? Anyway, I don't want it, return the spiritual stones to me. I told you, this is the seed of some kind of sacred tree, it's normal for it to germinate later." A stall owner and a customer suddenly quarreled, attracting a lot of people. Wang Hao sneered. Can the seeds of sacred trees be sold in the square of casual cultivators? But he has a golden finger, just check it out. Those that can be called sacred trees are generally above the 4th level, such as evil-repelling thunder bamboo, soul-nourishing wood, blood mulberry wood, fire-eye sacred wood, spiritual eye tree, etc. Many people have heard of the name, but very few have actually seen it. Even among Yuanian cultivators, there are many who have never seen a sacred tree in their lives. There is a huge gap between the seeds of a sacred tree and a sacred tree. If the seeds of a sacred tree grow smoothly, they will grow for thousands of years before they can become sacred trees. Therefore, although they are rare, their value is not that precious. Wang Hao went over and saw 2 cultivators in the early stage of foundation building quarreling. Judging from their clothes, the stall owner seemed to be a casual cultivator, and the buyer seemed to be a disciple of a certain force. It is human nature to watch the excitement, even for immortal cultivators. Under the onlookers, the stall owner was still afraid of the power behind the buyer, so he returned the spirit stones and took back the seeds. Others saw that even the disciples of the sect did not want this thing, and they were more convinced that it was a fake. This is how casual cultivators are. They want to pick up bargains but feel sorry for the spirit stones in their hands. They don't even look at things that are fake at first glance. There were also a few people who came forward to ask the price with a try-it attitude, but the stall owner insisted on asking for 200 spirit stones. Wow, that was almost enough to buy a bottle of qi condensation pill. Who would want this thing? Go away. This is obviously a scam. Only a fool would spend 200 spirit stones to buy an unknown seed, said a person who asked the price dissatisfiedly and turned away. The onlookers shook their heads and dispersed. Wang Hao thought, it's my turn to come on stage. My fellow Taoist, can I take a look at this seed? The big man who was selling the stall glanced at Wang Hao. He was very unhappy at the moment. You have seen it, do you want it? If it is really a seed of the sacred tree, I will definitely want it. Wang Hao smiled and revealed his cultivation level of the 5th level of foundation building. The big man only had the cultivation level of the 2nd level of foundation building, and he didn't dare to retort immediately. He threw the seed casually. Here, take a look. Because Wang Hao was also taking a look and would not buy it, Wang Hao took the seeds, and the shop in the farm suddenly lit up. Wang Hao thought that even if it was not a sacred tree, it was a new variety. He made a profit this time, but Wang Hao still had hope. With this mentality, Wang Hao clicked on the shop interface and checked it out. After a moment, his face tightened, and he was a little puzzled. It turned out to be the Kongsang sacred tree. This thing is an indispensable material for making storage bags and other space tools. It is not precious, but it is in the hands of big forces. Even the smallest storage bag cannot be mass-produced by ordinary Jindan sections. It is restricted from the raw materials. There is also a substitute, Kongming stone, which is even rarer than it. Chapter 137 Qingqing invites. Wang Hao saw that this man was ridiculed for a long time, and it was also miserable, so he threw out a small bag of spirit stones. I'll buy this seed. After saying that, he left the market without looking back. Oh, just put it away after you're done. What do you want? The big man looked at the spirit stone in his hand in astonishment, and when he looked up again, Wang Hao's figure was gone. It's not that he is kind-hearted, but he is sure that this is indeed the seed of the sacred tree. He can take it back to the family and plant it slowly. Even if he sells it, it is worth the price. A few days later, Wang Hao and Li Durong left the store under the gaze of everyone, preparing to return to Xuanhuan market through the teleportation array. In the past few days, he left 3 foundation building pills for Wang Yanfeng, asking him to choose an opportunity to give them to Wang Wenyan and others. The one for Wang Wenxiu will not be given to him for the time being to see how he performs. Wang Hao used 2 foundation building pills and some spirit stones to pay off the debt owed by the Li family. Li Durong was naturally happy. He ran all over the city but couldn't find out about the auction held recently. He was worried. Wang Hao was just like timely rain. For a while, he was confused and grateful. There was no need to say gratitude. He was confused about how Wang Hao got the foundation building pills. Wang Hao just said hastily that he had some business dealings with Baoqing Pavilion and exchanged a few pills from them. Back in Xuanhuan market, Wang Hao asked Li Durong to wait for him for 2 days. He wanted to go to the family store to take a look. Wang Yanji was on duty at the store. When he saw Wang Hao, he apologized to the customer and rushed over. Wen Hao, why are you here? Is there something wrong with the family? Not many people know about Wang Hao's overseas trip, including Wang Yanji. Wang Hao looked at the good business of the store and said with a smile, I'm just here to buy. Uncle sure, the store is doing well, the resources come from the internet and are only used for learning and communication. The copyright of the novel resources belongs to the original author. When talking about the business of the store, Wang Yanji smiled happily. With more income, his back straightened. Thanks to you, the business is still good now. Since you are here to buy, you can rest in the backyard first. I will send someone to buy whatever you need. Wang Hao stopped him. Uncle Shi, don't work so hard. The things I want are not available to ordinary people in the tribe. I have to buy them. Go in person. Then Uncle Shi will not ask more. By the way, your friend from Xuanhuan sect came to ask about you a few days ago and left a message saying that if you come to Xuanhuan market, go to the shop of Xuanhuan sect to find him. This is the sound transmission talisman they left behind. Wang Hao took the sound transmission talisman and asked, "Oh, can you leave your name?" Wang Yanji thought for a while. One of them seems to be called Qingqing, a foundation building cultivator. I didn't dare to ask more. It's them. Wang Hao nodded and said, "I know, I'll go ask later." Since they all came to the door and had some friendship, Wang Hao decided to go and see. He said goodbye to Wang Yanji and walked towards Xuanhuan Pavilion. On the way, Wang Hao checked the content of the sound transmission talisman, which actually invited him to explore the ruins. He smiled helplessly and shook his head. These two seem to have tasted the sweetness last time, so they invited me again. However, it shows that the risk of this exploration is very high. In addition to them, there are several brothers in the sect, which makes Wang Hao hesitate. He was conceded that he had some means to save his life, but after all, his cultivation and knowledge were limited. It was inevitable that he would not respond properly when encountering danger. Those unknown cultivators were also in danger. Moreover, with so many people, even if there were treasures, would it be his turn to share? His goal was very clear now. The right way was to cultivate peacefully, and the others had to stand aside. Having made up his mind to refuse, Wang Hao walked into Xuanhuan Pavilion. After explaining his purpose to the cultivator who received him, the man quickly went to the back to pass the message. Wang Hao waited for a cup of tea and saw Qingqing rushing in. "Brother Wang, I haven't seen you for a few years. Your cultivation has become more profound. Hasn't Sister Chen's cultivation improved a lot?" Wang Hao responded with a smile. "How can I compare with Brother Wang?" Qingqing said with self-pity, and then invited, "This is not the place to talk, Brother Wang, come with me to the cave." Qingqing seemed to be in charge of the market. The cave was not far from the Xuanhuan shop, and the layout was elegant. "It's a bit simple, I'm sorry to have embarrassed you, Brother Wang." Qingqing opened the restriction on the cave and led Wang Hao in. Section 72. You are listening at MaleProtagonist. Wang Hao smiled and said, "Senior Sister Chen, if this place is crude, I can only call it a cave." Qingqing invited Wang Hao to sit down, took some tea and made it. After chatting for a few words, he got to the main topic. "I wonder what Brother Wang thinks about exploring the ruins." Wang Hao put down his teacup and said doubtfully, "Senior Sister Chen, it's not my fault, but since it is a matter of Xuanhuan sect disciples joining forces to explore the secret, why do you call me an outsider?" "Brother Wang is naturally invited because of your extraordinary qualities," Qingqing said. "Brother Wang is not only fast in cultivation, but also accomplished in physical training. The location of this exploration is in an ancient battlefield, surrounded by the wind is so strong that ordinary monks cannot bear it, but it is very easy for Brother Wang. The brute force of physical training will also be useful when breaking the formation later. If Brother Wang wants to go, I will explain it in detail." Is it just this reason?" Wang Hao then asked. "There are a lot of physical practitioners in Xuanhuan sect, right? Why not find them?" Qingqing shook his head. "There are not many foundation-building body cultivators. There are a few in the Xuanhuan sect, but they are not familiar with us. How can we find someone to do this kind of exploration? If we invite people with heavy profits, we will lose more than we gain. This purchase the news about the ruins has already cost us and Senior Sister Do a lot of spiritual stones. If we share too much, our work will be in vain." "Who is Senior Sister Do?" "It's Du Xiandai who was introduced to Brother Wang last time." Wang Hao's expression changed. "She's going too?" Qingqing nodded. "Senior Sister Du and I bought this news together." Senior brother and I have low status in the sect and have not made friends with many powerful foundation builders. Most of the people this time were contacted by senior sister Du. However, senior sister Du contacted us. Recently, senior sister Du is refining the magic weapon to break the formation, and senior brother is thinking about breaking through the third level of the foundation before exploring, so it falls on me to find the remaining manpower. Chen Qin told the story very frankly, and Wang Hao didn't hear any problems from it. It seemed like an ordinary exploration. If Brother Wang agrees to go, according to the rules of the world of immortality, the treasures found individually belong to individuals, and the treasures found collectively need to be distributed equally. As the sponsors, senior brother and I, as well as senior sister Du, will have priority. But no matter what, it will not let Brother Wang return empty-handed. If the treasures are not enough, whoever gets the treasures must collect some spiritual stones to compensate others. That this rule is quite common, and it is explained clearly before exploring to avoid disputes. Wang Hao fell silent. The last time he begged the two of them, they exchanged the Xianin fruit for him without saying a word, and then introduced Du Xiandai, the weapon refiner. He definitely owed the favor. Although Chu he said he owed him a favor, at that time he also took treasures. The most valuable alchemy furnace belonged to him. It was considered a transaction of equal value and there was no such thing as owed a favor. Seeing Wang Hao's hesitation, Chen Qing said, "Brother Wang, there is no need to make a decision in a hurry. We have to prepare for a while before going. Senior sister Du also needs to refine a special magic weapon, and then the few of us have to master it proficiently. It will take about a year. Time, so you can think about it during this time and then reply to me." "Okay, I'm going to go back to my family soon, and I'll probably stay there for a while, but I'll definitely come back and give senior sister Chen an answer in a year." Chapter 138 Accepting a disciple. After bidding farewell to Chen Qin, Wang Hao walked silently on the street. He had been on a smooth journey since his cultivation as an immortal. He had the skills and no shortage of elixirs. He had gained a lot from being intercepted and killed several times and exploring secrets, but the current accumulation is still not enough. When it comes to golden elixirs, they are also divided into top-grade golden elixirs, which are divided into 4 levels, upper, middle and lower. Most of the golden elixir monks are low-grade golden elixirs. A matter of personal talent, not to mention talent, Wang Hao is almost the worst. This will affect the future path. It is not that there are no low-grade golden elixir monks who can condense into Yuanying, but the number is too small. If one appears, it will become a legend for people to admire for thousands of years. Wang Hao could never form a low-grade golden elixir. He didn't dare to think of a top-grade golden elixir, but he could still give it a try with a high-grade golden elixir. There are many spiritual objects in the world that can help form elixirs. It is said that as long as 4 kinds are collected, there is a high probability that a high-grade golden elixir will be obtained. If one is not lucky, at least it will be a middle-grade golden elixir, not a low-grade golden elixir, but the spiritual objects of heaven and earth will not appear out of thin air. Wang Hao needs to find them. He now has Jin Yuan fruit, dust-falling pills are more common, and spiritual stones can be bought at auctions, but other spiritual objects are difficult to find. It is easier for heaven and earth spiritual objects to appear in these ruins, because according to rumors, the spiritual energy of the heaven and earth in this area was extremely abundant before, and the spiritual things of the heaven and earth were very rich. It was much easier to cultivate immortals than it is now. It was common for monks to ascend to the upper world, but hundreds of thousands of years ago, the demon world invaded this world and caused great destruction. Later, although the demon was destroyed with the support of the fairy world, the spiritual energy of this world has become irreversibly thin, and the spiritual beings in the world have naturally decreased. It is said that the South China Sea was occupied by humans before. It became the main battlefield during the war between immortals and demons. It was so damaged that human monks were forced to evacuate. It was not until 10,000 years ago that humans developed the world of cultivation in the South China Sea again. Therefore, there are many caves, ruins, etc. left by previous monks in the South China Sea cultivation world, and these caves that existed before the war between immortals and demons are very likely to contain heaven and earth spiritual objects. After all, these things were not too much at that time. Precious. It's an endless cycle. If you want to develop better, you must take risks, and the prerequisite for taking risks is that your cultivation level is high enough and you have enough cards to save your life. That it was difficult to find a balance point, so Wang Hao decided to go back to Wangjiling and ask Xuanhuan for his opinion. The old family leader had lived for 200 years and had much more knowledge and experience than him. Wang Hao rested in the shop for a day, during which he also went to see Xuanhuan. This old man had reached the end of his life, his beard and hair were all white, and he was very old. However, when Wang Hao took out the passion fruit, his eyes still shone, as if he had seen a peerless treasure. Hey, it's a pity that I don't have long left, and I can't see Baixiang spirit wine being successfully brewed. Xuanhuan closed his eyes and sighed, then took out a jade slip and handed it to Wang Hao solemnly. My boss, it's my Zhou family's secret brewing recipe, take it. Mr. Zhou, why bother? I think you still have 2 years to live, enough to brew the first batch of Baixiang spirit wine. Wang Hao did not take the jade slip. My boss, as the saying goes, fallen leaves return to their roots, and this old man also wants to go home and have a look. He couldn't help but put the jade slip in his hand. These old men have enjoyed the blessings of the Wang family for several years and are already content. They can't take the family inheritance to the ground. It's fine if the Wang family inherits it, but I still have one request. Mr. Zhou, please tell me. Xuanhuan bowed and said, I also ask my master to carefully select a few apprentices and inform them that the inheritance comes from my Zhou family. It's natural. I agreed. If Mr. Zhou has any descendants, he might as well send them to my Wang family. The Wang family will definitely train them as core disciples. Wang Hao promised. Xuanhuan's eyes lit up. What he was waiting for was Wang Hao's words, I am alone and have never married. However, I have a younger brother who gave birth to a grandnephew with 3 spiritual roots. Unfortunately, this child has no interest in wine making. I hope the boss can teach you carefully. Wang Hao thought to himself that Xuanhuan's gift of wine was meant to pave the way for his nephew's grandnephew, but this was also human nature. The Wang family got the wine recipe and received a 3-lingen monk, so it was still a profit. Don't worry, Mr. Zhou, I will stay for a while when I come back this time, and I will teach him personally. Wang Hao's cultivation has improved too fast, and it is not suitable to continue to practice in seclusion in the near future. It is also a good idea to teach children. Thank you, boss. Xuanhuan thanked him repeatedly and asked Wang Hao to quickly select some apprentices so that he could teach them personally before returning to his hometown. The next day, Xuanhuan brought a little girl to Wang Hao. The girl was only 10 years old. She had 2 braids and a red face. She was extremely cute. Her name was Zhou, and she had the 3 spiritual roots of gold, earth, and fire. She also had a lot of qualifications. Not bad, judging from the fluctuations of spiritual energy on her body, she was only at the first level of qi training. It may be that no one in the Zhou family urged her to practice, which delayed her. After being greeted, she followed Wang Hao timidly and didn't like to talk. She almost always answered Wang Hao's questions. You have to understand that you have spiritual roots and are different from mortals. You can't always live with mortals. You should practice well in the Wang family in the future. Listen to Elder Wang's words. Xuanhuan ordered. It's okay to call me elder, just call me brother. Wang Hao said with a smile. You understands. He will listen to his brother and practice well. Zhou had tears in his eyes. Xuanhuan saluted Wang Hao again. My boss, Yu has had a hard life since she was a child and has a somewhat introverted personality. It was only by chance that I saw her 2 years ago that I detected her spiritual roots. She started a little later than others, but the qualifications of the 3 spiritual roots are not the same. It's not bad. I hope my boss can give me a lesson for the sake of this old man. Wang Hao nodded and said, "Don't worry, Mr. Zhou, I said I would train her as a core disciple and I will never break my promise." Xuanhuan shook his head, "It's not that I'm too old to push my limits, but I really understand the difficulties of being a casual cultivator. If Yuer has no status, she will inevitably be bullied when she enters the Wang family." "Name, what title?" Wang Hao immediately became confused. What does Xuanhuan mean and what does he want to do? Yuer is not only 10 years old. After hearing what Xuanhuan said, Wang Hao couldn't help but froze there, obviously not expecting that he would make such a request. On the other side, Xuanhuan looked at Wang Hao earnestly, "I hope my employer can accept her as a disciple. With this status, she won't seek to be taken seriously in the future, but at least she won't be easily bullied." It turns out we are recruiting disciples. Wang Hao felt relieved, and he could agree to this request. Looking at Xuanhuan, Wang Hao understood that even if someone with a foreign surname joined the family, it would be difficult to blend in. Even a guest like Xuanhuan would still be just an outsider to the Wang family. It would be okay if Zhou discovered the 3 spiritual roots early, but now that he has been delayed for several years and the foundation has not been laid, the progress of his cultivation will be slower than the ordinary 3 spiritual roots. Now Xuanhuan is alive and well, and Zhou will not be bullied even if he has no cultivation. After all, he has handed over the Zhou family's brewing skills to the Wang family, and he is still a guest minister. He has a certain status and can protect Zhou, but once he dies, Zhou will live alone in the land of the Wang family, and will inevitably have contact with other Wang family members. There are many factions among the Wang clan, and it is not uncommon for them to secretly compete for cultivation resources. When the time comes, how will Zhou, a person with a foreign surname, compete for resources with his children who have ancestral backers? It would be nice if you don't get pushed into trouble and excluded. Even if Wang Hao takes care of her, how can Wang Hao, a foundation-building monk, keep an eye on her all the time? At that time, Zhou will have to face this alone. Therefore, Xuanhuan wanted to make the relationship between Zhou and Wang Hao closer. With Wang Hao as his backer, Zhou can live a more stable life in the Wang family, obtain more cultivation resources, and even build a foundation in the future. After all, Wang Hao is already a foundation-building monk and an alchemist at a young age. He plays an important role in the family. If he can learn alchemy skills, he will not worry about resources for future cultivation. Chapter 139 Return to the family. In this case, I will accept this apprentice. Hearing this, Xuanhuan's face immediately showed joy. "Thank you, master," and he quickly pulled Zhou next to him. "Why don't you kneel down and salute your master?" Disciple Zhou greets master. Zhou is also very sensible and bowed 3 times solemnly. Wang Hao thought that he didn't have so much time to teach his apprentice, but since the relationship between master and apprentice was determined, it would be okay to teach him when he had time in the future. At least she would not lack elixirs. Whether she could build a foundation still depended on her own character. Soon, Wang Hao took the reluctant Zhou to find Li Durong and began to return to Qingyefang. With the sun and moon shuttle, they were much faster. In less than 10 days, Wang Hao returned to Wangjiling. Zhou, who was flying for the first time, stared at the scenery around her with wide eyes in surprise, but the speed was too fast and her cultivation was low. She would feel dizzy after looking at it for a while, but she kept insisting. Wang Hao thought that this woman was also a person with a tough character, and there should be no problem in building a foundation in the future. Arriving at Qingyefang, Wang Hao bid farewell to Li Durong and took Zhou to Wangjiling. After receiving the news, Wang Guang'an and Wang Yanzhao flew over together. "Wen Hao, you are back. You have worked hard. Is everything going well overseas?" Wang Guang'an asked from a distance. "It is going well. We went out to sea to hunt monsters twice and made a lot of profit. We also opened a shop in Wanxiang City. Business is pretty good." Hearing what Wang Hao said, Wang Guang'an and the others breathed a sigh of relief. Wang Yanzhao said, "This is not a place to talk. Come with me." "Hey, who is this little girl?" "This is Zhou, the nephew of Mr. Zhou. He asked me to take care of him. I promised him that I would train him as a core child of the family." Wang Hao looked at Zhou Yu, hurry up and pay respect to the ancestor. Yu greets the ancestor, Zhou Yu knelt down to pay respect. Wang Guanan reached out and helped her up. Well, good child, in this case, let's go to the transmission hall first, there are people there who will teach you to practice. The three put Zhou Yu on the ground, let the tribe take her to the transmission hall to live, and then set up the escape light to fly to the top of the mountain. After reaching the top of the mountain, Wang Longyu also heard the news and rushed over, and the four entered the hall together. Wang Hao didn't say much, and told the overseas things again. When Wang Hao talked about entering the Danding sect ruins, the three of them were not calm. What, you found a ruin? Wang Longyu said in surprise. Well, we entered the Danding sect ruins by chance, but unfortunately there were countless monsters there, and there were several other hostile forces. Uncle Yanlang died in it. The three sighed for a while. It was not easy to get a few more foundation builders, and now another one fell. However, the three of them had experienced several storms, and they adjusted themselves in an instant and asked, is there anything to gain in the ruins? The three of them had already guessed that there might be some inherited skills. Section 73. You are listening at novelfull.audio. But when Wang Hao took out a bunch of jade slips and 3 golden elixir techniques and 1 nascent soul technique, he was also shocked. The hands of several people holding the jade slips began to tremble. Wang Hao handed the Red Lotus Magic Wood Sutra to Wang Guanan. Ancestor, the Danding sect seems to be connected with my Wang family. This is the follow-up technique of the Red Lotus Magic Wood Heart Sutra. Wang Guanan didn't seem surprised, while Wang Longyu and Wang Yanzhao looked at him doubtfully. Wang Guanan groaned, it's okay to tell you now. My ancestor of the Wang family is indeed a disciple of the alchemy sect, but he is just an ordinary disciple. He has no core inheritance in his hands. The ancestor once left a message that if the family does not have a golden elixir monk, don't fight against the alchemy sect. The idea of ruins, but now that Wen Hao came across it by chance, these restrictions naturally no longer exist. Wang Hao sighed, it's a pity that the Danding sect was on the verge of destruction at that time, and many inheritances were taken away. Except for a few more precious techniques, most of the remaining ones are first and second level inheritances, and they have been around for a long time, and many skills have happened. The changes have not been of much help to the family. Wang Guanan shook his head and said, you can't think like this. How many inheritances does our Wang family have? Only alchemy is a second-level inheritance, and the rest of the talismans, planting, beast control, etc. are all first-level inheritances. Now that you can find these, it will be great. Adding to the family's heritage, such as sericulture, if it can produce second-level silk, it will become a major pillar of the family, and weapon refining, which is an inheritance that my Wang family has never had, both of which are priceless. Wang Hao then handed over Zhou Renhe's winemaking skills and the puppet technique he had obtained to Wang Yanzhao. This winemaking inheritance belongs to the Zhou family, and I got the puppet technique by accident. Don't worry about the puppet technique. It requires clan talents with the talent to refine weapons. It's easy to get started. Brewing is relatively simple. You can choose a few tribesmen with average spiritual roots to learn from Zhou Renhe in Qingyiwanfang City. These are all small things, I will arrange them later. Wang Yanzhao said, the most important thing now is to deal with the nascent soul technique. Wen Hao, does the Li family know about this technique? Wang Hao shook his head, the Li family only has 1 golden elixir technique, and they don't know the rest. Wang Guanan and others looked at each other and breathed a sigh of relief, that's good. There are no monks in the divine transformation stage in Nanhai yet. Yuanying Kung Fu is the top technique, and its attraction to Nanhai monks is self-evident. Even a golden elixir technique is enough to cause many forces to rob it, let alone a nascent soul technique. Once the news of the Red Lotus Xuanmu Heart Sutra is leaked, big forces will definitely take action against the Wang family and snatch the technique. Even in the Qingyuan sect, there has not been a nascent soul cultivator for thousands of years. It is probably because of the technique. The collapse of the alchemy cauldron sect back then was probably due to someone trying to defeat this technique. For this reason, the fewer people who know about this matter, the better. Then several people questioned Wang Hao carefully and made sure there was no possibility of rumors before giving up. That girl from the Ji family must know the importance and won't talk nonsense. Her ancestor is a golden elixir monk, so we don't need to worry about it. The martial arts can be kept a secret for the time being. Wang Guanan said. In the final analysis, we are still not strong enough, Wang Longyu sighed. Okay, now that the family has gained so much inheritance, it will get better and better in the future, Wang Guanan laughed. Wen Hao, please continue to say, what you gain from the alchemy sect is not just these jade slips. Wang Hao also smiled, ancestor has a keen eye. Indeed, in addition to the exercises, we also collected a large number of elixirs. However, due to the existence of monsters, all the mature elixirs were eaten, leaving only some unused elixirs. The mature ones are fortunately in large enough quantity, and those with 2 different years can be planted again, and those that are almost ready for elixir creation. Is there any third-level elixir? Wang Yanzhao asked. There are no third-level elixirs, there are only first- and second-level elixirs. In addition, overseas resources are abundant, and the elixirs are cheaper. I sold some monster materials and bought a batch, plus the ones obtained from the ruins. Enough to refine 500 furnaces of first- and second-level elixirs. Okay. Wang Guanan said 3 good words in a row, couldn't help but stand up, and took a few steps back and forth. In the past few years, more and more monks have been born in the family, and I am worried that there are not enough elixirs. You have brought so many elixirs. Then he looked at everyone and said, everyone should work harder these days to refine the elixirs and distribute a batch to the clansmen, so as to improve their strength. Wang Hao divided the elixir into 3 parts and handed one to each of the 3 people. Ancestor, I have packed these elixirs, but the quantity is huge. The first-level elixir still needs the help of other tribesmen to refine it. Chapter 140 Can't wait for Wang Guanan. Well, the family has also trained several first-level alchemists in the past few years, just for them to practice. Wang Yanzhao said, with the inheritance of the alchemy cauldron sect, our family's alchemy skills will definitely be able to reach a higher level. Wen Hao, you have worked hard these past few years. Leave the alchemy matter to us. You should have seen the alchemy inheritance and are familiar with it. Please guide the first-level alchemist in the family. Wang Guanan ordered. Wang Hao nodded slightly. Okay, I also want to get familiar with the tribe. Wang Hao accepted the task, and then continued, there is a shortage of manpower overseas, so I would like to take this opportunity to select a group to send over next time. That everyone nodded repeatedly. As overseas development was good, they would naturally continue to send their clan members there. In just 5 years, Wang Hao has trained 5 foundation-building monks for his family. What if this time is extended to 50 or 100 years? Couldn't the family's foundation be built up by 20 or 30 people? Speaking of the foundation establishment monk, Wang Hao took out the foundation establishment pill again. This is the foundation establishment pill I bought from overseas. I left 2 pills overseas and the rest are here. When Wang Guanan saw that there were actually 7 foundation building pills, he couldn't help but sigh, overseas resources are so rich. Hey, it seems that my Wang family has been sitting in the well and watching the sky, and I have never thought about developing overseas. Wang Hao thought that overseas resources were abundant, but he didn't go to the extent of buying foundation establishment pills casually. These were all the output of his farm. However, these words could not be said and could only make the 3 of them mistakenly think that they were purchased overseas. The 3 of them roughly discussed the distribution of the foundation establishment pills, and only decided on 3 of them, while the rest could only be saved first. In the past few years, all those who were suitable for foundation building were taken away by Wang Hao. A large number of monks born after the family's family birth policy were still young and were still far away from foundation building. Now there is a bit of a shortage of talents. Wang Guanyan then asked Wang Yanzhao and Wang Longyu to leave first to make arrangements for the 3 people building the foundation, refining alchemy, and learning the various arts of cultivating immortals. Wang Hao was left alone. Tell me, are there any surprises? He had just received a message from Wang Hao, saying that he had something important to tell him, something that even Wang Yanzhao and Wang Longyu couldn't listen to, which made him look forward to it. Wang Hao took out a jade bottle, a jade box and a formation disc. Ancestor, look at what this is. Wang Guang'an first picked up the jade bottle, opened the lid and sniffed it gently. He was shocked when he smelled a strong fragrance of elixir, and his hands trembled. Dust falling elixir. That's right, it's the falling dust pill. I got it in exchange for a magical flying sword. Wang Hao pushed the jade box over again. These are the 2 golden yuan fruits obtained from the ruins. If the ancestor can break through, a 3rd-level alchemist can refine the golden elixir and jade liquid, and the hope of forming an elixir will greatly increase. What? Jin Yuan Gua. Wang Guang'an hurriedly put down the dust-falling pill, and then carefully picked up the box containing Jin Yuan Gua. Looking at the golden Jin Yuan Gua, he shed tears of excitement. This fruity fragrance is. The 3rd-level spiritual fruit is right. Ancestor, with these 2 golden yuan fruits, is there any hope of advancing to a 3rd-level alchemist? Wang Hao asked. Wang Guang'an thought for a moment. You have brought back so many elixirs. If I practice for a while, it should be fine. That's good. If the golden elixir and jade liquid cannot be refined at this time, Wang Guang'an's lifespan will not be able to wait until the golden yuan fruit on his farm matures. He can only take the risk of taking the dust-falling pill and forming the pill. The chance of failure is too high. What I mean is that the ancestor took the clan members to the Wanxiang city to form pills. The family does not have 3rd-level spiritual veins, and the spiritual energy is not enough to support the monks to form pills. Moreover, the phenomenon of forming pills cannot be hidden. It will definitely be noticed by the Qinyuan sect. I am afraid that the family is at a disadvantage. Things are different in Vientiane City. There are a lot of caves for rent there. The ancestor can rent a 3rd-level spiritual cave to retreat and build pills. It is the front line of human monster melee. There are many golden pill monks and there are often foundations. The local sect did not stop the monks from forming pills. Wang Hao told the story he had found out. Wang Guang'an muttered, it's true that we can't form elixirs in the family. That's fine. Once the elixirs are refined, I will go to Vientiane City. But after I leave, there will only be 2 foundation-building monks left in the family, which is too weak. Ancestor, don't worry, I can stay. Besides, if the 3 foundation establishment pills are sent out, at least 2 foundation establishment monks will appear, right? Wang Hao said, then picked up the last array plate and said, this is the key to unlocking the ruins of the alchemy sect can be entered by the family every 50 years. The place is not small. We haven't explored it yet. Maybe there are good things in it. Even the elixirs in the elixir garden are not small. We can pick it slowly. This is related to the future development of the family and is more valuable than the golden yuan fruit. Wang Guang'an thought for a long time and said, you should keep the array disc. This matter is classified as top secret. Don't let anyone know except you and me. Yes, ancestor. Okay, I'm going to retreat to refine elixirs. You should go and rest first. After receiving the golden yuan fruit, Wang Guang'an couldn't wait any longer. After saying that, Bai left the main hall and returned to the cave on the top of the mountain to retreat. Wang Hao shook his head and smiled. As expected, the path is the most important thing for immortal cultivators, and Wang Guang'an is no exception. Then he walked out of the hall and returned to his cave. After traveling for so long, he felt a little tired, so he lay on the bed and fell asleep for a while. Wang Hao rested for more than 10 days and decided to go see Zuyu first. After all, after accepting a disciple, not to mention teaching carefully, the placement must be proper. Zuyu was his apprentice, and the tribesmen who placed her did not dare to neglect her, but she was too young to be placed alone. In the end, he was allowed to live in the residence of Wang Wenxian, who was familiar with Wang Hao. Her residence is not far from Chuangong Hall, which is also convenient for her to study. Elder, along the way, tribesmen kept saying hello to Wang Hao. Some children did not know Wang Hao and curiously asked the older tribesman next to them. When they knew it was Wang Hao, they looked adoring again. 5 spiritual roots are building the foundation. Wang Hao has become a great person. He has become the role model of the Wang family in teaching children. He often uses Wang Hao as an example. Everyone who has studied in Xuanhuan Hall knows Wang Hao. Even the elixir refined by Wang Hao is more effective than others, and they are often reluctant to use it only when they achieve breakthroughs. After all, Wang Hao has been away from the family for several years, and the elixir he refined has been almost used up. After a while, Wang Hao came to the mountainside. The buildings in this area all had the same style. They were specially built for tribesmen under the age of 20. They were similar to boarding schools, but the dormitories were a bit more luxurious. At first, many tribesmen were unwilling to send their children here. They clearly had room to live at home, so why let the children live alone? However, after Wang Hao's suggestion, they felt that leaving their parents early would help cultivate their sense of independence, and at the same time, they could have more spend time learning skills, getting along with peers, deepening relationships, and promoting each other at the same time. Moreover, they can go home for a day of rest every 5 days, and their parents can often visit them. There is also a canteen in the training school, and there are dedicated people in charge of their food and daily life. They don't have to worry about life at all. They only need to devote themselves to it. Just go practice and learn the skills. It has been implemented for more than 7 years, and the results have been outstanding. It is obvious that more people have mastered the various arts of cultivating immortals, and the cultivation level of the tribe has improved much faster, so the rules and regulations of this school have become more and more perfect. When he came to a cave with 18 characters written on it, Wang Hao played a teleportation note and entered. After a moment, a pretty figure appeared in front of Wang Hao. In the blink of an eye, 7 years passed, and the little girl turned into a slim girl. Chapter 141 Wang Wenxian with outstanding talent. 5th brother, why are you here? The girl opened her mouth in surprise. After a moment, he realized it again, feeling a little disappointed. 5th brother is here to see you, right? You also call me 5th brother, can't I just come to see you? Wang Hao said with a smile. Seeing that Wang Wenxian's cultivation had reached the 6th level of qi training, he nodded with satisfaction, took out 2 bottles of Huanglong pill and said, hey, I'll give you 2 bottles of elixirs for your cultivation. Huanglong pill. Wang Wenxian's eyes flashed brightly. The Wang family's conditions are better now, but members of the clan can only receive 1 pill per month. If they want more, they can only save spiritual stones or contribute to redeem them. A bottle of Huanglong pill requires 2 pills. The value of a year's salary or the contribution of refining 100 pills is not low. It's too expensive, I can't have it. Wang Wenxian declined. Wang Hao sighed, your grandfather also asked me to take care of you in the early years, but I have been away from home these years, and I have failed your grandfather's entrustment. If you don't even accept the elixir, 5th brother's reputation of accepting money without doing anything will be ruined. Spread out. No, 5th brother has taken good care of me. Now I don't lack anything, how can I ask for anything from 5th brother? Keep it, I will have to trouble you to take care of Zhou Yu in the future. Although she worships me as her teacher, I have been away on business and have no time to teach her. You are the actual master. As a master, you must set an example. As soon as possible to build a foundation, if you want to improve your cultivation level, you need pills. Wang Wenxian finally took over and invited Wang Hao to enter the cave to meet Zhou Yu. When Zhou Yu saw Wang Hao coming, he quickly saluted, Master. Well, are you used to staying here? Wang Hao asked casually. I'm used to it. Sister Wenxian takes good care of me and gives me a lot of delicious food, Zhou Yu said crisply with a smile on her face. Wang Hao thought that a woman had to take care of children, and he really couldn't do this job. As long as you get used to living in it, you can't just think about food. I'll ask your sister Wenxian to help you choose a skill later, and practice it well in the future. The master needs to check it out. Well, you knows. Zhou Yu nodded obediently. Okay, you go and play first. Master has something to tell your sister. Wang Hao touched her head, then looked at Wang Wenxian and asked, Wenxian, what skills are you learning now? I studied alchemy, fifth brother, and now I am also a first-level mid-level alchemist. Wang Wenxian said with great pride. Her alchemy skills were the best among her peers. Wang Hao shook his head and said with a smile, it seems that fifth brother sent the wrong thing. Since you are an alchemist, you must have no shortage of elixirs to take. No way, I can't refine the Xuanhuan pill right now. In the school, she still focused on cultivation. She was able to reach the 6th level of qi training at the age of 18, which is already the result of hard work. Besides, her middle-level alchemy skills are not bad either. Do you have an alchemy furnace? Take it out and let me take a look. Wang Hao decided to teach her. After all, he was responsible for teaching his apprentices, so he couldn't just leave everything behind. Yes, Wang Wenxian said, taking out a green alchemy furnace. Wang Hao took a look and saw that it was only a low-grade one. Wang Hao took out a few elixirs and said, you can refine a furnace of Huanya Dan. Wang Wenxian nodded in surprise. Wang Hao obviously wanted to teach her how to alchemy. This was a legend of the Wang family. How could she not be surprised when he taught her personally? So I followed the alchemy steps more carefully to clean the alchemy furnace and light the spiritual carbon. Half an hour later, Wang Wenxian, who was covered in sweat, breathed a long sigh of relief, opened the alchemy furnace, and leaked out the 4 round pills inside. Section 74. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang Hao took out a yellow bud pill and put it in his mouth to test it. Well, yes, the pill is qualified, and the success rate is not low at 40%. Wang Wenxian was about to look happy when he heard Wang Hao say, do you know what the problem is? What? Oh, it's mainly because I didn't control my consciousness enough during the elixir forming stage, which resulted in 2 balls of elixir liquid escaping. Wang Wenxian lowered his head and whispered. Wang Hao hummed and began to point out the problems in her alchemy process. Not only that, but also the problem of your fire control. There was no problem in condensing the liquid at the front, but the temperature was too high when mixing the liquid at the back, causing some of the elixirs to evaporate. The medicinal properties of the medicine were damaged, and you were too conservative when dividing the elixir into pills. This batch of elixir liquid is enough to divide into 8 pills, but you only divided into 6 pills. Are you not confident in refining 8 pills? How can you control it well if you are always worrying about gains and losses? Remember, when encountering difficulties, don't always think about taking a detour, but face it bravely and move forward bravely. Find a way to solve it. The more you worry about the problem of spiritual consciousness, the better your spiritual consciousness will be. Will be your problem. Wang Wenxian lowered her head when Wang Hao said it, and pinched the corner of her clothes nervously. She didn't expect that she would have so many problems with her alchemy. She was always the one praised in the alchemy hall. Is it so bad? Only then did Wang Hao realize that he had gone too far and damaged the child's confidence. But he also has no teaching experience. Wang Hao took out the purple light furnace and said, this is the alchemy furnace I used in my early years. Now I no longer need it, so I will give it to you. I hope you can become a 2nd-level alchemist as soon as possible. 5th brother. Wang Hao raised his hand to stop him. Don't refuse. So you will also learn alchemy in the future. You can pass it on to her in the future. The alchemy technique is one thing, and the equipment is also very important. What did I just say? Find ways to solve problems. Utensils are a way to solve problems. Don't be afraid when encountering difficulties. The more mistakes you make, the more room you have for improvement. Be confident and practice once with the purple light furnace. Yes, 5th brother. Wang Wenxian clenched his fists and said solemnly, then he started seriously cleaning the alchemy furnace and refining the medicinal liquid. Half an hour later, Wang Hao, who was resting with his eyes closed, suddenly heard Wang Wenxian's joyful exclamation, 6 yellow bud pills, 5th brother, I succeeded. Yes, you have noticed what I said. Although you are still far from the best, as long as you practice diligently, you will become the best alchemist in the Wang family sooner or later. Wang Hao praised a few words and took out a god-gathering pill. This pill can enhance your spiritual consciousness and is good for your cultivation and elixir refining. Thank you, fifth brother. Wang Wenxian accepted it simply this time. She already understood that Wang Hao was not only helping her, but also helping the Wang family to cultivate second-level alchemists. In the future, when she builds a foundation, she will be like Wang Hao. He always helps his people and makes his family more prosperous. Okay, fifth brother is going back first. This time, fifth brother brought back a lot of elixirs. You can go to the General Affairs Hall to accept some alchemy tasks. While contributing to the family, you can also break through to the first-level high-grade alchemist as soon as possible. Wang Hao left Wang Wenxian's cave after a few more instructions. Fifth brother, I will never let you down. I will definitely become an excellent alchemist, Wang Wenxian swore secretly as he looked at Wang Hao's retreating back. After walking out of Wang Wenxian's cave, Wang Hao was about to go to the school of Xuanhuan Hall. Now there are a lot of new dolls there. There may be good seedlings suitable for alchemy. Since the Wang family has the inheritance of the alchemy sect, they must take advantage of it. Choose a few to train them carefully, and reward the Wang family with this alchemy skill to gradually enter the ranks of middle-class families. But at this moment, a flying sword shot out and stopped suddenly in front of Wang Hao. Flying sword to send a message? Wang Hao asked in surprise. This is Wang Yanzhao's flying sword. What does Lao Wang want to see me for at this time? Wang Hao quickly cast a spell, and the transmission note attached to the flying sword opened, and Wang Yanzhao's voice came out. Wang Hao, come to the main hall to see me quickly. We have something important to discuss. Wang Hao did not dare to neglect, and quickly flew into the Peak Hall, where he saw Wang Yanzhao and Wang Longyu standing anxiously at the door. Chapter 142 Recruitment Order. What happened? Wang Hao asked as he followed the two of them into the hall. Wang Yanzhao took out a token that glowed with green light and had the two characters Qingyuan engraved on it. The Qingyuan sect has just issued a recruitment order, asking each of the 5 families of Qingyafang to provide 1 foundation builder and 20 Qi practitioners to assist them in annihilating the demonic cultivators. Demon cultivator. Wang Hao looked at the two of them in confusion. Where did the demon cultivator come from? I just came back from Qingyuanfang city, but I didn't hear any news. On the day you came back, a group of disciples from the Qingyuan sect were intercepted and killed by the demonic cultivator. It is said that these people had just returned from the Duanyuan mountains with a large amount of wealth in their hands, and they were targeted by the demonic cultivator. Wang Yanzhao slowly said sermon. Duanyuan mountain range? That's even more wrong. Isn't it true that only golden core cultivators can cross it? There was a golden core cultivator guarding him, but that golden core cultivator seemed to be carrying something important. After passing through the core area of Duanyuan Mountain, it was easier for other disciples to disperse and return to the Qingyuan sect early. Who would have thought that he would be targeted by a demon cultivator? Wang Longyu sighed. Qingyuan sect has been crossing the Duanyuan Mountains for hundreds of years, and this is the first time it has been robbed. Otherwise, it would not be so angry and summon hundreds of forces under its command to surround and suppress the demon cultivators. Wang Hao carefully checked the recruitment order and found that a total of 6 foundation builders of Qingyuan sect died this time, including a core disciple whose father was the elder of the first hall of Qingyuan sect. No wonder the Qingyuan sect is so vigorous. It's not that good and evil are incompatible, but that if you don't avenge the disciples, it will not only chill the disciples, but also destroy the majesty accumulated over thousands of years. What's more important is that they are worried about being cut off from the trade routes with the Qianyuan continent. The Qianyuan continent is much more prosperous than the Lijiao Peninsula. This trade route is the main source of income for the Qingyuan sect. If the trade routes are cut off, it will be a great undertaking for the Qingyuan sect. You will also feel pain in your body. There is more than one medium-sized sect in the Lijiao Peninsula, and the Qingyuan sect also has opponents. Once it becomes weak, it will be destroyed by others. Therefore, Xuanhuan's sect is not only seeking revenge this time, but also intends to protect the trade routes and kill the chickens to scare the monkeys. After Wang Hao read the message, Wang Longyu sighed. The last Xuanhuan sect recruitment order caused my Wang family to lose more than 10 disciples, and their vitality was severely damaged. Now, although my Wang family is stronger, it can't withstand it. What a hassle. My uncle has gone into seclusion and has not responded. Look at this. Wang Hao thought to himself that it seems that the Xuanhuan sect also intends to weaken the strength of the forces under the sect. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone is really a good plan. Wang Guang'an is attacking the 3rd-level alchemist, and then he is going to attack the golden elixir. He cannot move lightly. Wang Yanzhao is the head of the family. If it is damaged, the morale of the Wang family will plummet. Although the Wang family has built a lot of foundations now, they are all overseas. Now the only ones who can lead the team to respond are Wang Hao and Wang Longyu. Wang Hao's current strength is not much weaker than Wang Longyu's, and he is also willing to help the family, so he said, my ancestor is in a critical period of retreat, so don't bother him. My father and uncle are stationed at Ruojuan Mountain and Wangjiling respectively. I'll go this time. This. Wang Yanzhao hesitated. This son had suffered many hardships in his youth and had already contributed a lot to the family as an adult. Now he had to go through dangerous situations again, which made him feel unbearable. Wang Longyu looked at Wang Hao and said, if you don't tell me the reason, it won't be your turn this time. Wang Hao was stunned for a moment, and then said in a deep voice, the family is now prosperous, which cannot be separated from the management of my father and uncle. I have never been good at these trivial matters, but I have some experience in fighting. Besides, I have just improved my cultivation, and it is just through fighting that I have tempered my true energy and laid a solid foundation. Therefore, it is most appropriate for me to go there, both for the family and for myself. Different from Wang Yanzhao's worries, Wang Longyu looked at Wang Hao with a look of relief. Wang Hao brought too many surprises yesterday, but he didn't pay attention to Wang Hao's cultivation level. Now Wang Hao no longer hides it, and has actually reached the level of cultivation. At the 5th level, he surpassed Wang Yanzhao, who was obsessed with vulgar things. To be honest, he had intended to let Wang Hao go before. After all, people can only become successful through experience. He is old after all. If the family is in crisis, he will naturally not hesitate to risk his life. But this time, Xuanhuan's sect has signaled hundreds of foundation builders. In addition, the monks in his sect are not too dangerous. The main battle losses are the Qi training monks, while the foundation building monks are relatively safe. He intended to imitate Wang Hao and asked, what are you going to do after you take people there? Wang Hao thought for a moment, the Xuanhuan sect might be led by the Jindan monks this time. Even if they only build the foundation, it is not our turn to intervene in the strategy. We must obey the orders and keep a low profile and not be in the limelight. Wang Longyu nodded with satisfaction. The Xuanhuan sect will definitely use those Qi refining tribe members as cannon fodder to explore the road as usual. You must not conflict with them because of this matter. Protect the tribe members if you can, and do everything with your put yourself first. Although the Xuanhuan sect asked for the number of people, it did not ask for cultivation. The Wang family would send old people with no hope of success or 4 or 5 spiritual monks with a bleak future. They would never let geniuses do the work of cannon fodder. Wang Longyu paused for a moment and then said, if you encounter something difficult to make a decision, you can discuss it with the monks of the Li family. When necessary, the 5 families of King Niafang will stand together. They are all forces you can rely on. However, the 5 after all, a family is not a family, so you have to be more careful about everything. Wang Hao nodded. Wang Longyu had been in charge of the Wang family for nearly 100 years and had far more control over these matters than he did. He was right. Seeing this, Wang Yanzhao also knew that Wang Hao had gone to settle down. He also knew in his heart that only Wang Hao was the most suitable. That is, when the other foundation building monks came back, they were a group of monks in the early stage of foundation building. They wanted experience but not experience, and they wanted fighting ability but not fighting ability. Wang Hao was the one who was more suitable. After a moment of silence, he took out a few spiritual talismans and said, seeing that you brought back a lot of magic weapons yesterday, I believe you are not lacking. I will give you these second-level spiritual talismans for self-defense. There are 3 talismans in total, a second-order middle-grade ice rain talisman, a second-order middle-grade earth escape talisman, and a second-order high-grade Tai golden sword talisman. The power is equivalent to a full blow in the later stage of foundation building. You want use with caution. Wang Hao stretched out his hand to take it. He had a lot of spiritual talismans on him, but most of them were second-order low-grade 100-knife talismans exchanged from the Li family. Their power was far inferior. Wang Yanzhao gave him the second-order middle-grade earth talisman that he valued most among the 3. The escape talisman can escape to 1,000 meters deep and thousands of miles away, but when he activates the earth escape technique himself, he cannot survive even 100 meters deep. On the contrary, he didn't attach much importance to attacking the talisman. After all, he still had a talisman. The selection of the clan members? Wang Hao asked. He was really not very familiar with the clan members. You don't need to worry about these things, I will take care of them myself. We can only provide 5 of the 20 people, and let the Qian, Lu, and Zhang families provide the rest, Wang Yanzhao said. As a foundation-building family, the Wang family naturally has several Qi training affiliated families. Since the Qi training monks are cannon fodder, the Wang family naturally has to send fewer members of its own clan. After the 3 people discussed some rough candidates, Wang Hao asked again, when will we set off? Wang Longyu replied, there is no rush. Qinjiwanmen requires us to gather at Qinjiwanmen within a month. We still have time. We have already made an agreement with the other 4 families. In 5 days, we will first go to Qingyefang to meet with the other 4 families, and then we will go together. When you go to Qingyuan Gate, the specific battle location should be near Duanyuan Mountain, so be careful not only about the demon cultivators, but also about the monsters. Wang Hao nodded immediately. The people of the Qi refining clan were traveling slowly. It was obvious that they would not be able to reach Qingyuan Gate in a month. However, there were ways to speed up the journey, such as flying spirit beasts, flying boats, etc. Chapter 143 Beilijinren. 2 days later, at the martial arts arena in Wangjiling, there was a row of Qi refining monks standing. Judging from their clothes, it was obvious that they came from 4 families. The Qian family and the Lu family are both led by an old man who is at the 9th level of Qi training. Only the Zhang family is led by a monk in the middle stage of Qi training. The rest of the people are not very high in cultivation, and most of them are at the 4th or 5th level of Qi training. These small families lack resources and cannot cultivate foundation building monks at all. Even if they produce a disciple with good spiritual roots, they will waste their life in the Qi training period due to the martial arts, spiritual veins and other reasons. Wang Hao just glanced over. The group of people lowered their heads and did not dare to look at Wang Hao. However, Wang Hao did not mean to establish his authority, he just wanted to recognize his face. Soon, he glanced at the Wang clan members, but was slightly startled when he saw a familiar face. Wen Xian, why are you here too? Wang Wenxin laughed miserably. 5th brother, you don't know, after Wuyan and Wuxian, I gave birth to 5 more children with spiritual roots. Unfortunately, their qualifications are not very good, they all have 4 spiritual roots and 5 spiritual roots. Although the family has subsidies, it is far behind the children of Sanlingen and Erlingen. As a father, how can I not think about their future, so I thought about making more contributions to support their future. The path will be smoother, and you don't have to be like me, who is 40 years old and doesn't even have the advanced stage of Qi training. Wang Hao was shocked. There were 7 children with spiritual roots, and there were probably even more without spiritual roots. Wang Wenxin was really good at sowing seeds. Sure enough, when you become a father, you will pay more attention to responsibilities. I think back in the Fengshe shop, Wang Wenxin was also the owner who could feed the whole family without starving. He spent a lot of money and now he has become a model father. how many resources can a father in the middle stage of qi training earn for his children? It was the foundation establishment pill. He had saved up enough for 2 lifetimes. Wang Hao really wanted to persuade him. With Wu Yan's dedicated teaching, he would definitely become a foundation-building monk in the future. With a little help from Wu Xian, a family could have 2 foundation-building monks, but now that there are more children and resources are scattered, the hope of building a good foundation will be greatly reduced, but everyone has his own way of living. Wang Hao didn't say anything in the end, he just said, "The demon cultivator is a ruthless person who kills people without blinking an eye. When the time comes, be smart and follow me." "Thank you, fifth brother. I've written it down." Wang Wenxin bowed and thanked him. The others looked at him with envy. They wanted to get closer to Wang Hao but didn't dare to speak. After all, Wang Hao was a foundation-building elder and they were just a family. If they fail to build a good rapport and make Wang Hao unhappy instead, their lives will be even more difficult. Wang Hao has no time to repair them, but the clan members who are so perceptive will never let them go. Wang Hao took out the Feiyan boat and asked them to get on it. Xuanhuan was nothing but not comfortable enough for one person. With Wang Hao watching over them, they couldn't fall down. Wang Hao looked back at Wang Yanzhao and others to say goodbye, stood on the flying boat, and shouted, "Let's go." When they arrived at Qingniafang, Wang Hao found that the 5 families were old acquaintances. The Li family might be because Li Durong had just returned. This time, Li Yaozu led the team. They were riding a second-level high-grade iron-backed eagle, a spiritual beast. It is good at flying and is extremely powerful. It can carry not only 20 people, but also 30 or 40 people. However, it is less comfortable. You may have to hang it like Asan. After all, the back of the iron-backed eagle is not that big. In comparison, Yaya is far behind. Nowadays, the second-level mid-level Yaya has much stronger flying ability. It is not a problem to bring a few people with her, but it still cannot compare with flying spiritual beasts such as eagles and cranes. The Lei family uses a flying boat, which is different from Wang Hao's Feiyan boat. Their flying boat is smaller, but it does not require a foundation-building monk. The qi refining clan members can control it by themselves, which is also convenient. The disadvantage is that there are few people on board, and 3 flying boats are needed. He carried 21 of them. The Zhao family is also a spirit beast, but it is only a first-level Feiyan. The 2 of them are riding one, and there are as many as 11. This kind of spirit beast is small in size, but its flight is flexible and its speed is not slow. It is suitable for short-distance flight and a good helper for sending messages. The Qing family does not have flying monsters or flying boats, but they seem to have made an agreement with the Lei family and rented 3 small flying boats from the Lei family. After several people arrived, they started to rush to Xuanhuan Gate. To accommodate the flying speed of the Lei family's small airship, the 5 families didn't arrive at Xuanhuan Gate until the last day of the deadline. In the main hall on Xuanhuan Mountain, when Wang Hao and others arrived, hundreds of foundation builders and more than 1,000 qi refining monks had gathered, except for the 30 Qingyuan sect foundation builders wearing Qingyuan robes. The rest were selected by the various foundation building forces under his command. Loose cultivators are not among the signs. After all, this is not a chaos of monsters. Everyone needs to work together and everyone is responsible. Seeing the people from Qingniafang arriving, most of the foundation builders just glanced at them and paid no attention. Some familiar people came over to say hello. Although Wang Hao had never participated in these social interactions, he still had the name of the Wang family and Li Yaozu introduced him. I also got to know many foundation-building monks from the family. This is the advantage of family cultivators. Many relationships can be inherited. With a family as a foundation, people are also happy to make friends with you. If you are a casual cultivator, you have nothing. If you want to socialize, you have to spend several times more time and energy than family cultivators. Moreover, it is even more difficult to just know each other and trust each other. Section 75. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Connections are still very useful in the world of immortal cultivation. They can bring wealth, friends, magic and land. Friends refers to connections in general. For example, if the Qing family had not been on good terms with the Lei family, how could they have borrowed a flying boat? Even if they used spirit stones to rent it, the cost would be several times higher than it is now. The same is true in other aspects. The Wang family's elixirs and the Li family's talismans are more expensive for low-level ones. High-level ones are usually not sold at all, but are used for exchange and communication. If you don't know these two families, you have to go to the store to reserve them at a high price, or bid at the auction. Wang Hao entered the middle stage of foundation building at a young age. He is also the heir of the Wang family and knows the art of alchemy. Who would not want to make friends with an alchemist? Except for those arrogant Qinjiwanmen disciples and some people who have never had any contact with the Wang family, other families who have had a relationship with the Wang family are willing to come and get to know Wang Hao. Okay, quiet down, a late foundation building cultivator from Xuanhuan sect shouted in front of the crowd. After the crowd quieted down, he said, I think everyone knows why we gathered here today. There has been no demon cultivator causing trouble in the Xuanhuan sect area for hundreds of years. Now they dare to touch the tiger whiskers of Xuanhuan sect, and they must pay a heavy price. Without further ado, please follow me. When Master Bailey finds the information about the demon cultivators, we will go straight to the demon cultivators' lair. Everyone was confused. Why is there no news about the demon cultivators yet? Do we have to wait for them to gather here? Wang Hao was also surprised. Gathering in Xuanhuan sect, could it be that the demon cultivators would come to attack the mountain gate? Wang Hao followed the Xuanhuan sect foundation building cultivator to a square, where he saw a tall altar, which was distributed in the shape of a bagua. There were 3 layers, and it was dark and made of unknown material, but Wang Hao felt that it was at least a second-level material, and the top one might be a third-level material. The Master Bailey, who was wearing a green robe, stood on it, closing his eyes to rest. Are all the people here? Bailey Xuanhuan opened his eyes and asked the Xuanhuan sect monk beside him. The man immediately replied respectfully, Xuanhuan, they are all here. There are a total of 102 foundation builders and 1,500 Qi training monks. Okay, let's start. He said with his hands apart, and 8 red flags flew out. The flags were covered with runes. Wang Hao looked at them for a while and only recognized some of them. Most of them were incomprehensible. Chapter 144 Worship. The 8 flags were inserted into a corner of the bagua and moved against the wind. The foundation builders of Xuanhuan sect flew to a flag respectively and injected spiritual power into it. Under the flashing spiritual light, the runes on the 8 flags actually flew out of the body and flew to the center of the altar. Bailey Xuanhuan took out a blood-stained broken magic weapon, placed it on the altar, and shouted loudly. Xuanhuan rushed into the altar from his hands. I saw a huge spiritual light column rising into the sky, shooting straight into the clouds. After a moment, the sky was covered with dark clouds and there was a faint flash of lightning. The cultivators of all families were shocked. How could a Jindan cultivator cause strange phenomena in the world? Such strength was beyond their imagination. This should be the bloodlight tracking technique, a third-level spell. It must be guided by blood and can track thousands of miles. No wonder Master Bailey asked us to gather here instead of searching everywhere. One person recognized the spell cast by Master Bailey and whispered. Wang Hao sighed secretly for the third-level spell. It seems that his accumulation is still far from enough. Xuanhuan sect should have done this to deter the forces under the sect. After all, during the last monster rebellion, Xuanhuan sect's defense of the mountain gate was somewhat chilling. King Niafang did not suffer much loss, but several families in other places were wiped out, and other families also suffered heavy losses. This time, the incident of the demon cultivator robbery proved that Xuanhuan sect was on the decline. If it was not deterred, these families might have second thoughts. While Wang Hao was thinking, the altar changed again. Under the illumination of the spiritual light column, the blood stains on the blood-stained magic weapon decomposed and merged with the runes flying from the 8 banners, finally forming an arrow pointing to the southeast. Okay, I already know where the demon cultivator is. Everyone follow me. As he said this, a spiritual light flashed in his hand, and a small boat was released. The small boat continued to grow and finally turned into a tall building ship that was 100 feet long and more than 10 feet wide. This kind of building ship can also be called a warship. It not only has a defensive formation, but also an offensive formation. A charged attack can be comparable to the power of a Jindan cultivator. It is one of the symbols of a large sect. However, the Qingyuan sect's warship is small. The larger ones can be thousands of feet long and can accommodate tens of thousands of cultivators. It was the first time that Wang Hao saw such a warship. After entering and looking around, he found that the interior was no different from a sea ship. They were just on the lower level, and the upper level was where the Qingyuan sect cultivators and Bailey Zhenren were. The lower floor was still very simple, without even a chair, so everyone could only sit on the ground. Fortunately, it was spacious. Wang Hao asked the tribesmen to sit in a circle. It was the first time for these tribesmen to see such a building ship. They were all curious and looked out through the portholes. Wang Hao felt that it was no different from the plains in his previous life, so he closed his eyes and rested. Wang Hao was so calm, but the others were not, and they were noisy. Even Li Yaozu and Lei Liheng and others were not immune to this, but they went off topic. Lei Liheng said, "It is said that this warship was purchased by Qingyuan sect from Xuanhuan continent. Our South China Sea has only been developed for less than 10,000 years. It is hard to imagine how prosperous the Xuanhuan continent, which has been passed down for hundreds of thousands of years, should be." Li Yaozu said, "There are only dozens of Yuanian cultivators in our South China Sea, while Xuanhuan continent has produced ascended cultivators, and it is said that there are also several Xuanhua cultivators, but there has been no news for several years. Even though there are no God-transforming monks, there are still several great monks in the late nascent soul stage in this sect. It is said that there are golden elixir monks everywhere in 10,000 Immortal City, and there are as many foundation-building monks as dogs." Zhao Gaofeng on the side interjected. "Yes, you can easily build a foundation with all three spiritual roots, and you can easily buy a foundation-building pill. How can it be like us, who can break a dog's brain just for a foundation-building pill? It can't be compared, it can't be compared. I don't know if I can go to Xuanhuan continent in this life. If I just take a look at 10,000 Immortal City, I will die with peace of mind. Then you are destined to die with your eyes open. Let's just say that with your strength, you will die inside the Duanyuan mountain range, let alone crossing it. If you go deep into it, you will die inside. Friend Zhu Dao, I wonder if you have been there. Can you tell us about the situation in Xuanhuan continent?" A foundation builder looked at the Qingyuan monk standing in the middle. The man smiled softly. "I was lucky enough to go there once, but it's not as good as you said. We also have to face the chaos of monsters and beasts, and there are also good and evil, and wars will break out from time to time. Without us, it's peaceful here. But," he paused here and glanced at everyone in the venue, "it's really easy to buy foundation building pills there. They are sold in larger pill shops, and dozens of pills are auctioned together at auctions. Why are there so many foundation establishment pills? Is there another pill recipe?" In fact, he also said later that it is easier to buy foundation establishment pills only in big cities. There are also many areas similar to Lijiao Peninsula where it is difficult to find a single pill. Just like Qingyuanfang City and Vientiane City, it is relatively easy to buy foundation building pills in Vientiane City. As long as you have the spirit stone and go to the auction, you can buy it, but how many people can get there? The cost of teleportation is expensive, and it costs tens of thousands of spiritual stones to go back and forth. How can you find the auction if you are not familiar with the place? Just food and accommodation are expensive, and for the poor foundation building forces, it is simply unrealistic. The Qingyuan sect monk surnamed Zhu continued, "What is inheritance? My sect has been passed down for hundreds of thousands of years, and my family is rich. Ningyuan fruit trees are planted in large areas. With Ningyuan fruit, it is not easy to build the foundation pill. Can you get it? And there is no one way to build a foundation. I have heard of one that uses evil energy to enter the body to build a foundation. Although the process is painful and seems to have an impact on the formation of the pill, the chance of success in building the foundation is higher than that of the foundation pill, that the monk surnamed Zhu talked eloquently, and the anecdotes from the Xuanhuan continent attracted the attention of a large number of monks, including Wang Hao. It's a pity that this person didn't know whether it was because of the sect rules or because he was hiding his selfish intentions. He just talked in general terms and refused to go into details. He didn't mention a word about the route and method to Xuanhuan continent. If he doesn't tell, no one will ask. They are all human beings, and they understand that once they know something they shouldn't know, there will be no good end. The Xuanhuan sect controls the trade route and makes a lot of money, so how can others know? Soon the topic turned back to the encirclement and suppression of demonic cultivators, intentionally or unintentionally. Everyone was relatively optimistic about this encirclement and suppression. After all, the Jindan Patriarch led the team and gathered so many cultivators. In addition, everyone had decades of experience. I haven't heard any traces of demon cultivators, so I thought this time it was just 1 or 2 demon cultivators who came from elsewhere, and they could easily wipe them out in the past. Wang Hao does not agree with this statement. If he can kill several foundation-building monks from Xuanhuan sect, the other party will either have more people or be stronger. Maybe there will be a golden elixir demon cultivator. A battle between 2 golden elixirs will be a waste of time. It's enough to kill chi-training monks even if they get close enough. Even foundation-building monks will die if they get too close. If they can be eradicated, it doesn't matter even if they pay a small price, but if 1 or 2 people escape, the demon cultivators are vicious and vindictive, then the Xuanhuan sect area will not have peace in the future, and they will not dare to provoke the Xuanhuan sect. Isn't it easy to deal with these family forces? After flying for a long time, the battleship shook slightly and stopped. Chapter 145 Lu Family. The Lu family on Xianxia Island has been inherited for nearly 1,000 years. After continuous development, there are more than a dozen foundation builders and 3 late-stage foundation builders. However, they suffered from the lack of golden elixir skills, so after the arrival of several demon cultivators, they not only failed to report to Xuanhuan sect, instead, he accepted them and later switched to practicing magic skills. After years of development, the ancestor of the Lu family, Lu Qingfeng, finally mastered the golden elixir. After their strength skyrocketed, they were no longer content to gather in one place on Xianxia Island. However, due to the overwhelming power of the Xuanhuan sect, they did not dare to openly resist, so they had no choice but to start a business without capital to slightly supplement their family income. Through constant murder and treasure grabbing, their strength continues to expand, absorbing many casual cultivators, and the Lu family, which was once the main body, has become a minority. Zheng Chang was born as a casual cultivator. In his early years, he did some odd jobs in the market and barely made a living. Maybe it was because of his good qualifications, but despite such difficulties, he still reached the late stage of chi training. Unfortunately, without the foundation building skills and foundation building pills, he had stopped here in his life. However, a contact with the Lu family ignited his hope, and he decisively joined the Lu family and switched to cultivation. More than 10 years ago, he successfully established the foundation and began to help the Lu family as agreed. Generally, there were only 2 things he needed to do. One was to protect, which was relatively safe, but the salary was also low. The second was to kill people and seize treasures. Not only was he rich with a salary, you can also choose 20% of the treasures obtained. Zheng Chang naturally chose the latter. He had suffered enough from the lack of resources, and from the moment he switched to practicing magic skills, he could no longer look back. Demonic cultivators are different from normal monks in absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. They need demonic energy, and the resources they use are naturally different. However, spiritual stones are interoperable. Through the Lu family, they can slowly exchange them for the resources they need, and they can also practice with the flesh and blood of those monks. Able to improve one's cultivation, after decades of experience as a casual cultivator, coupled with his ruthless nature, he worked conscientiously for the Lu family and was successfully promoted to a squad leader. A few days ago, they intercepted a group of people in the Xuanhuan mountains and obtained a lot of property. Unfortunately, the group was very strong. Not only did they kill the two of them, but they also managed to escape a few. However, even so, the harvest is still huge. At this time, Xianxia was thinking of Lu Qingfeng reporting the news. Elder Lu, the monks we intercepted and killed in Xuanhuan Mountain these days have gained a lot of money. This is a list, please take a look at it. Xianxia took out an account and respectfully presented it to Lu Qingfeng. Lu Qingfeng, who was sitting at the top, glanced around and said, "Why are there so many supplies? Didn't you rob some family? Didn't I warn you to keep a low profile?" Xianxia was shocked. This old devil was becoming more and more difficult to serve. He was less unhappy and more interested in intervening. He smiled bitterly and said, "My subordinates intercepted a group of monks who were suspected of being in a caravan. These supplies belong to them. Carry it with you. Caravans can only be owned by big forces. You." Lu Qingfeng was suddenly startled. The caravan in Xuanhuan Mountain is probably not from the Qingyuan sect. At this moment, the earth suddenly shook and a huge roar came, then someone broke in and shouted, "The ancestor is in trouble, are the people from the Qingyuan sect coming to kill him?" What Wang Hao didn't expect was that the battle would take place on the sea. The Qingyuan area faced the sea, and some islands also had spiritual veins. Naturally, there would be monks living there, and the Lu family was the more powerful one. Bailey Xuanhuan stood in the air and continued to attack with both hands. The large formation on Xianxia Island below was shaken by the blast, and it felt like it would collapse in the next moment. The expressions of some family monks became abnormal. Some of them were afraid of the Qingyuan sect's future settlement because of their past dealings with the Lu family, while some saw Master Bailey and started to attack other people's formations without explanation. If it was a misunderstanding, the Lu family and this matter has nothing to do with it. Qingyuan sect will not apologize even if it comes to thinking about it. How can someone act so domineeringly without any ideas? After a moment, a black cloud flew out from the island, and a middle-aged monk in black robes appeared. "Old Bailey, why are you attacking Xianxia Island?" "Huh? Demonic energy?" Master Bailey's eyes narrowed and his tone suddenly turned cold. "Oh, it's true. I asked you why I haven't seen you show up in these years. It turned out that you secretly practiced magic skills and successfully formed elixirs. Why did you attack Xianxia Island? Do you need me to say more? Everyone can find evil ways and punish them. Today I will do justice for heaven." Bailey Xuanhuan said righteously. Lu Qingfeng sneered, "Good and evil coexist in the South China Sea, so what does it have to do with you if I turn to practice demonic skills? Bailey old man, don't think that because you are in the middle stage of the golden elixir, I am afraid of you." At this time, the Lu family's formation also opened, and more than 40 black-clothed demon cultivators and more than a dozen Lu family foundation-building cultivators appeared from it. There were still some in the Lu family who had switched to practicing demon arts. In this regard, old demon Lu did not force him. He originally turned to magic skills for the purpose of forming elixirs, with the intention of exploring a path for his family. The Qingyuan sect disciple on the warship pointed at Chang and shouted, "Ancestor, is that the one who intercepted and killed us?" Lu Qingfeng looked down and understood the cause of the matter. He was angry that Xianxia had provoked his enemies indiscriminately. But the matter had come to this. Even if he killed Xianxia and apologized, the Qingyuan sect would not let him go. Instead, they would let him go. His own morale plummeted, and he snorted softly, "That sounds high-sounding, but it turns out that you are trying to avenge your disciples." With a step of his foot, it turned into a black light and flew away into the distance. He was not running away, but was afraid that the Jindan War would spread to Xianxia Island. After all, this was his home base. Although he turned to magic skills, he was not completely crazy. Still have to estimate the family. Naturally, Master Bailey didn't want to affect the disciples of Dao Qingyuan sect. He snorted coldly, then turned into a rainbow and followed. The late-stage foundation-building monk from the Qingyuan sect on the battleship took over the command. pointed at the Lu family and many demon cultivators below and said, "Everyone, I, the elder of the Xuanhuan sect, promise you here that as long as you kill one if you name a demon cultivator in the early stage of foundation building, you can get 10,000 contribution points from our Xuanhuan sect. If you kill 3 of them, you can redeem them for foundation building pills. If you are a demon cultivator in the late stage of foundation building, you only need 1, and in the middle stage, you need 2. If you want the foundation building pill, you can also use your contribution to exchange for other treasures from my Xuanhuan sect." After hearing the promise, many family monks were jealous. As Elder Xie said, "I will risk my life to leave these evil demons behind today. It is our duty to kill demons and demons." Elder Xie of the Xuanhuan sect was very satisfied with everyone's momentum, then he took out a flying sword, and a sword light slashed downwards. "Kill me, no one will be left behind." Wang Hao ordered Wang Wenxin behind him, "You will follow the brigade to take action later. Don't rush ahead for credit, and pay attention to safety." "Yes, fifth brother, we will protect ourselves." Wang Hao then looked at Li Yaozu and others and joined the battlefield. Although the 2 golden elixir monks flew a long way to fight, there was still a lot of movement, explosions continued to sound, and the sky kept flashing with various bright lights. It seemed that the winner would be indistinguishable for a while. They had deep magic power and fought hard. A day and a half is normal. Section 76. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The battles on the Foundation Establishment monks' side are different. Their magic power can only sustain high-intensity battles for 1 or 2 hours, so they are usually quick battles. Even if they have the same strength, they may die if they are not careful. The number of people on Xuanhuan's side was nearly double that of the other side, giving them a considerable advantage. Many of them were 2 against 1. Wang Hao and Li Yaozu also chose a demon cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building and dealt with them carefully. Wang Hao did not use the ultimate move from the beginning to avoid being noticed by the Xuanhuan sect. Chapter 146. The first battle with demon cultivators. The demonic cultivator sneered and released 2 evil corpses with his backhand. These were made from the corpses of the foundation building monks they intercepted. Although they had no sanity, they still had the strength to build the foundation. Moreover, after refining these evil corpses, their bodies were stronger. Extremely high, not afraid of pain, extremely difficult to deal with. Li Yaozu said, "Little friend, go deal with those 2 evil corpses, and I will deal with this demon cultivator." That the 2 evil corpses were both at the early stage of foundation building. Li Yaozu's method of dividing monsters was considered to be taking care of Wang Hao. Wang Hao nodded, lured the 2 evil corpses away, and started fighting with his body and sword skills. He was determined not to be the first, and he would wait until everyone was almost killed before killing these 2 evil corpses. Although these evil corpses are made of iron and steel and are difficult to scratch with ordinary magic weapons, they have no sanity after all, have a single means of attack, and cannot fly. They can only fight with their bodies on the ground. Occasionally, long-range attacks can be easily transformed using corpse energy. If you avoid it, there is no threat to Wang Hao. Although the Xuanhuan sect's rewards were high, they were not attractive to him. Wang Hao even had the time to observe other people's battles. The Xuanhuan sect monks were indeed stronger than the family monks. They had more methods, spiritual talismans and other resources than the family monks. They almost overwhelmed the Lu family. Fight with the demon cultivator. The family monks have a balance of power, but there are also disadvantages. Even if 2 of them besiege one, they don't see much advantage. That's it. No wonder Xuanhuan sect dares to offer such a high reward. Is it because it is calculated that the family monks will not gain much? Wang Hao thought to himself, but just as he was muttering, there was a sudden explosion, and an accident happened. Just when a Xuanhuan sect foundation building monk whom Wang Hao had just observed cut off the head of the evil corpse with a sword, the evil corpse exploded in an instant, not only blowing up the Xuanhuan sect monk. The ground also affected other monks fighting around him. The demonic blood on these evil corpses has strong corrosive and contaminating abilities, and the aura of several contaminated spiritual weapons has been greatly reduced. Obviously, their power is far less than before. the spiritual weapons were all contaminated, and the bodies of the immortal cultivators could no longer bear it. Several people felt nothing at first after being contaminated by the demon blood, but when they saw the Xuanhuan sect disciple who had been blown to the ground, he suddenly twitched. But there was no life at all on his face, and a demonic aura overflowed from his body, and he suddenly screamed in fright. Does the demonic blood of these evil corpses have the ability to corrupt people's minds, that when a family foundation building cultivator saw the miserable state of the Xuanhuan sect disciple, his heart trembled, and he chopped off his blood-stained arm with a sword. However, others were not as cruel as him, and they just quickly retreated a few miles away and took pills to suppress the toxicity of the dirty blood. One thing is going down, the other is going up, and everyone has begun to fear those evil corpses, so the Xuanhuan sect's advantage is gone. However, the Xuanhuan sect monks were not helpless. Wang Hao saw two Xuanhuan sect monks cooperating with each other. One of them killed the evil corpse, and the other hit the evil corpse into the distance. The evil corpse exploded, but no one was injured. Any monk, seeing that it was working, the elders of Xuanhuan sect repeatedly asked everyone to do the same. However, the demon cultivators were not a vegetarian, and they used all their strength to entangle their opponents so that they could not support each other. When there were many monks from Xuanhuan sect, for example, Zhao Gaofeng led a corpse towards Wang Hao. "Little friend Wang, how about you and I working together to deal with these three evil corpses?" Wang Hao rolled his eyes secretly. "Do I need to cooperate with you?" But when people came over on their own initiative, Wang Hao couldn't refuse, so he nodded and said, "Thank you, Senior Zhao." With the experience of their predecessors and Wang Hao's hidden strength, the two easily defeated the three evil corpses in a short time. Wang Hao was relaxed here, but it was not so easy for others. 5 or 6 more people were injured while dealing with the evil corpses, and were dragged into hell by the self-destructed evil corpses. However, the situation was generally in favor of the Xuanhuan sect. As the evil corpses were eliminated one by one, the demon cultivators and the Lu family disciples began to panic. If they did not fight hard, their ending would only be worse. As a result, each and every one of them had a strong demonic energy, as if some kind of secret technique had been activated, and their strength increased greatly. Some of the monks who were facing each other accidentally had their magical weapons exploded by their opponents in an instant, and several of them were unable to dodge. The monk himself was also affected and lost his life or was seriously injured in an instant. Even Li Yaozu was hit by his opponent. Fortunately, he had a second-level spiritual talisman in his hand to protect his body, and he was only slightly injured. Wang Hao thought that this situation was similar to the effect of taking the burning blood pill. The demon sect actually had such a secret technique, but there must be a price to pay for this technique, otherwise they would have used it early. As expected, those demonic cultivators only broke out briefly, trying to kill or injure their opponents, but the Xuanhuan sect had more people than them. Even if they lost some, they could still control the situation. For a moment, those demonic cultivators saw that they could not win, and began to escape. They scattered and flew away in different directions, with blood on their bodies and very fast speed. The elder of the Xuanhuan sect ordered at this time, "The family monks will pursue the escaped demon cultivators. The Xuanhuan sect disciples will lead the Qi training monks to attack Xianxia Island. Remember, no one from the Lu family will be spared." The remaining people on Xianxia Island were some Qi training demon cultivators or Lu family members. They obviously chose easier and more profitable tasks. After all, the Lu family has been passed down for nearly 1,000 years. What more can they do than just looting something from a demon cultivator who has not yet established his foundation? You have to know that except for spiritual stones and spiritual medicines, other magical tools on the demon cultivators cannot be used even if they are obtained. But the family cultivators have to accept it with a pinch of their noses, because he is the boss. Wang Hao released the Feiyan boat and took Li Yaozu to chase a demon cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building. They had to pick the soft persimmons. Who knows if these demon cultivators have other trump cards? It is good enough to kill one. They don't seek merit, but they seek no mistakes. The current focus of the Wang and Li families is to develop overseas, and they don't want to be too high profile. The demon cultivator was very fast at first, but then the speed began to slow down, and finally stopped on a small island, looking at Wang Hao and Li Yaozu who were chasing him with an indifferent expression. You dare to chase me here? Do you really think Zhang is made of mud? Oh no, there is an ambush, Li Yaozu reminded Wang Hao lightly. There are still demon cultivators here. Wang Hao looked at the island in confusion. It turned out that they were chasing Xianxia, and Xianxia, as a small leader, also had his own nest outside Xianxia Island. His team had a total of 8 foundation-building demon cultivators. 5 of them followed him to Xianxia Island. Now no one knew where they went, but there were still 2 people left in the nest. 2 black lights flew out from the island and stood together with Xianxia. Wang Hao looked at it and felt relieved. It was just a beautiful woman with a black hat in the early stage of foundation building and an old man in black in the middle stage of foundation building. As soon as the 2 appeared, they released 4 evil corpses with foundation building strength, as if they were fighting desperately. Li Yaozu quietly sent a message to Wang Hao, Friend Wang, these 3 people are not easy to deal with, and there are 4 evil corpses. Should we retreat? That it is still easy for the 2 to go forward, after all, the evil corpses cannot fly, and Xianxia was injured, and the other 2 were not strong enough to chase them, Wang Hao said, although we don't seek credit, we can't take the blame, otherwise it will give Xuanhuan the opportunity to weaken us. Oh, so what does friend Wang mean is that there is a way to deal with these people? Wang Hao replied, I have 2 spirit beasts, and it is not a problem to stop the evil corpses. Li Yaozu was also very straightforward. After evaluating the strength of both sides, he felt that it was a bit big, so he agreed to stay and fight, at least leaving one of the 3 to report to Xuanhuan. Chapter 147 Killing the Demon Cultivator. Senior Li, go stop the old demon cultivator. I'll deal with the remaining 2. Wang Hao shouted, swinging his sword at Xianxia, give me your life. At the same time, he released Xiao Bai and Yaya, letting them entangle the 4 evil corpses. Yaya is a 2nd-level medium-grade spirit beast, and can also send out lightning strikes. It is not too easy to deal with the evil corpses cultivated by the demon cultivators. Xiao Bai is also flexible. After hearing Wang Hao's instructions, he will not let the evil corpses get close. Wang Hao does not need to worry about their safety. Xianxia was very angry when he saw that the 2 dared to stay and shamelessly asked for his life. He immediately took out the magic weapon and fought with Wang Hao. You don't take us seriously at all, damn it, kill. The beautiful woman in black also rushed over. Wang Hao found that this person was very strange. Although her skin was white and tender, like a woman, she had an Adam's apple in her throat and was flat in front. I'm afraid she was a demon. It made him feel nauseous and almost distracted. Seeing Wang Hao staring at her, the black-clad beauty flashed with disgust in her eyes. She was furious and waved her hand to release a bloody light. Wang Hao did not dare to be careless and used the mother and child Qingguang's sword to cut out 2 sword beams to barely block it. You have some strength. Wang Hao could not help but look up to this demon, thinking, do demons have any strength bonus? Complaints aside, Wang Hao must kill them today. Then he sacrificed the earth-shattering seal and smashed it at Xianxia. Xianxia was running out of mana at this time, but the crisis was in front of him, so he gritted his teeth and sacrificed a black magic flag. The 3-inch magic flag suddenly swelled and turned into a magic flag more than 3 feet high. Black mist emerged from it, and 3 black demon heads flew out slowly. As soon as the 3 demon heads transformed from black mist appeared, there was a shrill roar, and the demon sound filled his ears. Even though Wang Hao's consciousness was strong, he felt very uncomfortable for a while, and he was distracted by the operation of the earth-shattering seal, and was easily defended by Xianxia. Wang Hao had few rivals in the same level all along. Today, these 2 people could fight with him for several rounds, which made him competitive. At the same time, he also wanted to try whether he could defeat the opponent without using the God-splitting cone. Wang Hao activated the soul-fixing jade, and suddenly felt that the demonic sound in his mind disappeared a little. He always thought that his spiritual consciousness was strong before, so he no longer carried the soul-fixing jade with him. He didn't expect to suffer a loss today. He threw out 3 fire lotuses with his backhand, and instantly hit the 3 demons. The red lotus true fire is known to burn everything. It is the most yang fire, which is extremely restraining for demon cultivators. Even if the three demons had the strength to build a foundation, they were ignited by the red lotus true fire, and instantly burned into a fireball, emitting bursts of wailing, and were burned to ashes in a moment, and even the magic banner connected to it was damaged. Xianxia has been offering sacrifices to the magic banner for many years, and his spiritual consciousness is connected to the magic banner. The three demons are equivalent to the spirit of the weapon. The spirit of the weapon is gone, which instantly made Xianxia's head hurt and his reaction slowed down a bit. The battle between the monks is a decisive battle. Even a moment of negligence will lead to death. Wang Hao, who has been fighting for many years, would never miss such a critical opportunity. He then swung his sword with both hands, and the shadow-splitting technique and the flowing cloud sword technique were activated at the same time. In an instant, three figures of Wang Hao controlled thousands of flying swords to kill the demon and Xianxia respectively. The demon didn't dare to neglect and gave up the idea of supporting Xianxia. Seeing that he couldn't escape at such a fast speed, he wrapped himself up tightly with a strong demonic energy. But when the sword shadows came in front of him, they disappeared directly. There was no power at all. Fake. The demon widened his eyes. Unbelievable. Ah! At this moment, Xianxia screamed. The demon looked up and saw Wang Hao with thousands of sword shadows passing through Xianxia's body, directly cutting Xianxia into a bloody mist. In fact, this figure was also fake. Wang Hao would not let the blood of the demon cultivator stain himself, otherwise there might be some harm. However, the sword was real. This was a combination of his spirit object fantasy with split shadow technique and Luyun sword technique. It could be a real person and a real sword, a fake person and a fake sword, or a fake person and a real sword. The mother and child Qingguang swords flew out with Xianxia's storage bag. The demon was about to stop him, but he paused and turned around telepathically. He saw Wang Hao looking at her with a smile behind her. He was so scared that he retreated again and again, but Wang Hao would never give her a chance. A flash of light flashed under his feet and he closed the distance in an instant. A small sword appeared in his hand and gently crossed the demon's throat. The demon covered his throat and struggled for a moment, then fell into the sea with a plop. It turned out that it was only the mother's sword that killed Xianxia, and the small sword had been in Wang Hao's hand, waiting for the moment when the demon was distracted, because he was afraid that the demon cultivator had some strange means of resurrection. Wang Hao fished out his body, put away the other party's storage bag, waved his hands, and a fire lotus rushed out, turning the body of the demon cultivator into ashes. As for Xianxia, he had become a pile of minced meat. Wang Hao wanted to burn it, but it was not easy to collect it, so he had to give up. Wang Hao looked at the island and found that Yaya and Xiaobai had already dealt with two evil corpses and were fighting with the other two. Xiaobai released a white light to freeze one of the evil corpses. Yaya's lightning attack followed instantly and smashed the evil corpse to pieces. It had no chance to self-destruct. If other spirit beasts were to deal with the evil corpses, it would not be so easy. Even if Yaya and Xiaobai were to fight alone, it would not be so simple. Although Xiaobai could freeze the evil corpses, it was only for a moment. When the evil corpses broke free, he still had no way to do anything. Yaya was stronger, and her lightning attack had great damage to the evil corpses, but it could not be killed so instantly. Only when the two of them cooperated with each other could this effect be achieved. Wang Hao looked at the place where Li Yaozu and the old demon cultivator were fighting. The two were fighting each other very excitingly. He said, "Senior Li, can I help you?" Li Yaozu just witnessed Wang Hao killing two people like cutting melons and vegetables. He was shocked and felt that he could not do it even if he used all his strength. He was more convinced that Wang Hao was extraordinary and there was hope for him to form a pill in the future. Fortunately, the Li and Wang families were on good terms, and De Zhang had a good relationship with Wang Hao. He secretly made up his mind to have a good relationship with Wang Hao, so he could not be looked down upon by him. So he said, "My friend, just watch from the side. I can still take this man down." That he took out a small green flag with a yellow lion painted on it. The green flag grew in the wind. Li Yaozu shot out a spiritual light, and the yellow lion on it actually came alive and rushed out of the flag. The yellow lion roared and emitted yellow light to entangle the demon cultivator. At the same time, Li Yaozu released a golden talisman, which turned into a golden sword and shot towards the old demon cultivator. This kind of talisman with the most yang attribute was extremely restraining against demon cultivators. The old demon cultivator screamed and released a blood-red shield. The golden light penetrated the blood-red shield, making a loud bang and blasting a big hole in it. Section 77. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before the blood shield could heal, Li Yaozu's second spiritual talisman went straight into it. The old demon cultivator helplessly spit out a mouthful of demon blood to replenish the blood shield. Li Yaozu's third spiritual talisman was activated again. The old demon cultivator's face turned pale and he was blown away, but at the critical moment he shrank the remaining bloody shield and still protected his whole body without being seriously injured. Li Yaozu has been in the middle stage of foundation building for many years. He has rich experience in martial arts and has much deeper magic power. Looking at the fluctuations in his spiritual power, Wang Hao is not far away from the 7th level of foundation building. The old demon cultivator only has the 4th level of foundation building. It seems that he has just advanced. His magic power is much lower than that of Li Yaozu. He doesn't seem to have much experience in fighting. He is not Li Yaozu's opponent. In the fight just now, the old man the demon cultivator had all his cards, but Li Yaozu only sent out 3 spiritual talismans. Chapter 148 Demonic Cultivation Cave. This person's name is Li Qinghua. He has the same surname as Li Yaozu, but unfortunately he has the same surname but different destiny. He is just a casual cultivator. After luckily building the foundation, he wasted half his life because he had no skills. Later, when he met Zheng Chang's recruitment, he chose to join without hesitation. After switching to magic skills, his strength improved greatly, and he entered the middle stage of foundation building in less than 20 years. Unfortunately, his fate was bad, and he met Li Yaozu and Wang Hao today. Li Yaozu snorted coldly and released his flying sword. With the sword's light flashing, it crossed hundreds of feet and was about to strike Li Qinghua on the head. Li Qinghua took out a bone sword to resist, and was able to catch the blow, but he was knocked back again. He fell back more than 10 feet before regaining his balance. He spat out another mouthful of demon blood, and his face became even paler. Right here, the yellow lion phantom released in front of Li Yao's ancestor howled, and a sonic attack rushed towards Li Qinghua. Li Qinghua felt a splitting headache, and the scene in front of him was a little blurry. Li Yaozu took the opportunity to control the flying sword to strike at Li Qinggong, and at the same time he used a golden sword talisman. Li Qinggong's sword in a trance barely managed to avoid Li Yaozu's flying sword, and his head was chopped off by the golden sword talisman behind him. Li Yaozu took the opponent's storage bag, but did not burn the body. He always left one for the Xuanhuan sect people to see, to prove that the two of them had indeed achieved something. Senior Li's Taoism is so profound that he beat the devil without even the strength to fight back. Wang Hao complimented when he saw the dust had settled. Li Yaozu smiled and said, "No one can compare with my little friend. Every generation is indeed getting stronger than the last. I hope my little friend will take more care of me when the Li family is overseas in the future. This is natural. The Wang and Li families are both in-laws and allies. It is natural to help each other. Thank you so much, Mr. Wang. Let's take a look at the storage bags of these demon cultivators. Maybe there are any clues." That the two people immediately opened the storage bags of the 3 demon cultivators and looked around. They found that there were only spirit stones and a few magic weapons, as well as human skin and human bones used to refine the magic weapons. They looked at Wang Hao and frowned. He looked at Li Yaozu and asked, "Senior Li, how do you deal with these things?" Li Yaozu said, "Xuanhuan sect didn't ask for the storage bag, so naturally it belongs to us. Let the magic weapon be left to Xuanhuan sect for disposal. They should destroy it in a centralized manner." "Yeah, but I have to pay less." Li Yaozu heard Xian's elegance and said, "That's how it should be. 1 corpse with 2 magic weapons. How about that?" Wang Hao and Li Yaozu won a demon cultivator, which is already a small achievement. It will not be too conspicuous among the family cultivators, which is exactly the result they want. Those two people are waiting here. It might be a lair. Should we go down and have a look? Wang Hao was a little unwilling to get much from the three people's storage bags. In fact, it was pretty good. Zhengchang's storage bag, there are a total of 20,000 spirit stones in the bag. Not many foundation building monks in the Qinjihuamen area would carry so many spirit stones with them. However, Wang Hao, who has seen big money, has a big appetite and looks down on it. Li Yaozu nodded in agreement, and the two flew to the island. At this time, the evil corpses had been eliminated by Wang Hao's spirit beasts. Li Yaozu took out a first-level high-grade regret ground talisman. After activating it, the island suddenly shook. The two felt it carefully. Ichiban said, "There is indeed a cave, let's go down and have a look." That the two of them formed a layer of protection and escaped into the cave. There were still several chi refining demon cultivators in the cave, so it was inevitable that they would die after being seen by Wang Hao and the others. Afterwards, they searched the cave and found a lot of good things. It turned out that Zhengchang intercepted and killed the monks of Qingyuan sect. He also felt that there was a lot of money and did not dare to hand over all of it. At the same time, he was greedy and left after taking part of the deal. Wang Hao were now at an advantage. After taking inventory, it was found that the exercises and other techniques were all used by demon cultivators. It was useless for the two of them to come, so they ignored them. The rest of the discoveries include more than 100,000 spiritual stones, 2 foundation building pills, more than a dozen first and second level magical instruments, hundreds of various spiritual talismans, and several 300-year-old elixirs, among which Luoyang grass. Wang Hao has never seen the jade moon flower. Luoyang grass seems to have the effect of detoxifying and replenishing energy. It should be used to refine some kind of detoxification pill. The jade moon flower has pure spiritual energy and seems to assist in practice. Use. Later, Wang Hao found a bottle of elixir called Xuanhuan and figured it out. Yuyuwa should be the main ingredient in refining this elixir. This elixir is similar to the qi gathering dan and can assist in building the body. Cultivated by monk Ji, the Xuanhuan continent has been inherited for hundreds of thousands of years. There are many types of pills for foundation building monks to improve their magic power. This Xuanhu pill is one of them. The qi gathering pill is actually more suitable for the cultivation of monks in the early stage of foundation building. For the monks in the middle and late stages, the medicinal properties just a little bit worse. Xuanhu pill is just right for Wang Hao in the middle stage of foundation building. Although Wang Hao guessed that Yuyuwa was the main ingredient of Xuanhu pill, he could not refine Xuanhu pill without the prescription and without knowing the specific elixir and its ratio. The most precious thing is a flying boat, which is used by the disciples of Qingyuan sect. It is a top-grade spiritual weapon with a hidden formation engraved on it. It is the key for them to fly over the Duanyuan mountains. These materials are useless to the demon cultivators, and they probably haven't had time to make a move. It seems that this person is one of the demon cultivators who killed the Qingyuan sect cultivators, otherwise there wouldn't be so many elixirs. Li Yaozu analyzed. It doesn't matter whether it is or not. Anyway, everyone is dead, and these things naturally belong to us. Wang Xiaoyu, how should this be divided? Li Yaozu looked at the jade bottle containing the foundation building pill with burning eyes. Although Li Durong brought back 2 pills, there were many people in the Li family who were suitable for foundation building, which was far from enough. Besides, who would dislike too many foundation building pills? The Wang family is different. There are not many people in the family who are suitable for foundation building. The foundation building pill has begun to be redundant, and Wang Hao can continue to refine it. There is no use for these 2 pills, Wang Hao said, the rest will be divided equally. I want this flying boat, and the foundation building pill will go to you, senior. How about that the flying boat with a hidden formation is of high value. It is not a problem to deceive low-level monsters. Of course, if you want to fly over the Duanyuan mountains, it is better to have the protection of a Jindan cultivator. The flying boat is about the same value as the foundation building pill. Li Yaozu obviously got a bargain, and the foundation building pill is what he urgently needs. As for the flying boat, although the Li family also wants it, they have no plans to do business in Xuanhuan continent, so it is not a necessity. Li Yaozu smiled embarrassedly. My friend, you are very generous, but I will not let you suffer. Those talismans are of no use to my Li family. My Li family wants 2 second-level top-grade formation-breaking talismans, and the rest belong to you. This division method is almost equal in value, and Wang Hao nodded in agreement. After the two of them finished dividing, they collapsed the cave and destroyed all traces, and then returned to Xianxia Island. As soon as they arrived over at Xia Island, they encountered a patrolling group of Xuanhuan sect monks, who were riding a black flying boat, 1 man and 1 woman. One of them happened to be known to the two, named Xuanhuan. Fellow Taoist Wang, fellow Taoist Li, you are back. Where is the demon cultivator? Xuanhuan asked first. Li Yaozu chuckled and took out the body of the old demon cultivator from the storage bag, saying, Fortunately, we have fulfilled our mission. The two of us chased for thousands of miles and finally killed this demon cultivator. This is the storage bag of the demon cultivator. Please accept it, fellow Taoists, the male cultivator said. Give us the body and we will register it for you. You don't need the storage bag. It will be your personal income, but the magic weapon in it must be destroyed. Li Yaozu and Wang Hao looked at each other, nodded, and then poured out all the contents of the storage bag, and then destroyed several magic weapons made of bones in front of the two. Chapter 149 Storm is coming. Xuanhuan and the male cultivator from Xuanhuan sect nodded and said, My fellow Taoists, the battle on Xianxia Island has ended and is still in the final stages. You can go to the battleship to rest and wait for Master Bailey to return. Wang Hao frowned and asked, Master Bailey hasn't come back yet. I think that demon is only in the early stage of Jindan, so he should not be Master Bailey's opponent. Xuanhuan replied, Of course, but the demon is good at escaping. Master Bailey has already chased him. We just need to wait here. Hearing this, Wang Hao had a bad premonition in his heart. If a Jindan cultivator wanted to escape, how could it be so easy to stay? At night, Master Bailey finally came back with a gloomy face. There was no need to ask the result. You could tell from his face that although the family cultivators were all worried about Lu Qingfeng's revenge, no one had the courage to touch Master Bailey's brow at this time, but Master Bailey still saw everyone's worried look. Bailey Xuanhuan frowned slightly, looked at everyone, and said coldly, I know what you are worried about, and I will not use words to deceive you, but Lu Qingfeng and my Xuanhuan sect will definitely hunt him down to the end. Although he escaped, he was also hit by me. He needs at least 10 years of recuperation. The most important thing for him now is not to cause trouble for you, but to find a place to heal his wounds. Everyone looked at each other. 10 years is not short or long. For the 500 years of life of a Jindan cultivator, it is simply insignificant. Lu Qingfeng is less than 300 years old, and there is plenty of time for revenge in the future. Bailey Xuanhuan slammed the table and said to the Xuanhuan sect disciple beside him, The Lu family colluded with the demon cultivators and betrayed their own people. They are guilty of unforgivable crimes. All the cultivators of the Lu family will be killed immediately to set an example. How many people are still alive in the Lu family? This is clearly a warning to everyone present. Although they won a great victory in this battle, they also lost 20 foundation-building cultivators, most of whom were family cultivators, and a lot of Qi training disciples were also lost. Although the Lu family's formation was almost broken by Bailey's palms, it still had some power. Under the leadership of many Qi training demon cultivators, many people were killed and injured. It can be said that the Xuanhuan sect's goal of weakening the family cultivators has been achieved. Wang Hao also looked at the people he brought with him. There were only 14 people left. Except for 2 who were killed by the formation, the rest could not resist the temptation and privately plundered the Lu family. It is unknown whether they died in the hands of demon cultivators or Xuanhuan sect. Fortunately, Wang Wenxin is still alive. Although he wants to earn some spirit stones for his children, he also cares about his own life. He can already get a large contribution from the family by coming here, and he doesn't need to gain anything at all. This is a smart person, not just caring about interests and not seeing danger. Bailey Zhenren said a few words of kindness and power, and let everyone go back to their homes. Wang Hao always felt that this drama of eliminating demon cultivators was a bit anticlimactic. How could it be so easy? Is the Xuanhuan sect too strong? A sect with 3 golden elixirs and hundreds of foundations is only a mid-level sect. On the flying boat back, Wang Hao stood on the bow and thought, the Lu family only converted to practicing magic skills, so who asked the Lu family to practice magic skills? I'm afraid those people are the real people in the demon sect. Are there any golden elixir monks among them? The more unclear he was, the more cautious Wang Hao became. He turned back to everyone with a solemn look and said, you should keep your mouth shut when you return to the family. This time, you will reveal every word about the demon cultivator. Wang Hao's harsh tone made everyone nod their heads in fright. Don't worry, elder, we are not talkative people. Anyone who has anything to do with the devil has no good intentions. They also understand that if the devil escapes this time, if they go back and brag about it and it reaches the ears of the devil, they will have to destroy them all. They will not do this kind of thing that is not good for their family or themselves. People who cultivate immortals have much stronger self-control than ordinary people. They can still do this. A month later, everyone returned to Qingyefang, but a piece of news came back before them. Just as Bailey Zhenren was on his way back to the sect in victory, the demonic cultivator showed up again and intercepted and killed the monks of the Xuanhuan sect. It is said that the battle was quite fierce. Only Bailey Zhenren escaped with serious injuries. Some monks from the family who were returning on the same road were also attacked. Interception and killing, but the focus of the demon cultivators was to deal with the Xuanhuan sect, and many of them managed to escape. The Xuanhuan sect only has 3 golden elixirs, 1 each in the early stage, the middle stage, and the late stage. Now Bailey Zhenren, who is in the middle stage of the golden elixir, is seriously injured and his strength is greatly reduced. Only Jin Heng, who is in the early stage of the golden elixir, and Du Guangchao, who is in the late stage of the golden elixir, are left. That is, Du Xinya's great-uncle. Maybe there will be some changes. The storm is coming, little friend, let's say goodbye here. I have to go back to the family to arrange some arrangements. Li Yaozu had a sad face. If the demonic cultivator is rampant, no one will benefit. Since the demonic cultivator even dares to intercept Bailey Zhenren, kill, then it shouldn't be too easy to deal with foundation-building families like them. Wang Hao was also anxious to discuss with his family, left in a hurry, and hurriedly led Wang Wenxin and others back to Wangjialing. Sure enough, Wang Yanzhao and Wang Longyu were already waiting in the meeting hall, and even Wang Guanan, who was in retreat, came out to inquire. Wen Hao, please tell me, what is going on? Wang Yanzhao asked as soon as Wang Hao walked in. Wang Hao shook his head, I don't know. Everything went smoothly. Master Bailey cast a spell to find the demon cultivator's lair, which is the Xianxia island of the Lu family. The old demon Lu Qingfeng had quietly cultivated the golden elixir, so he escaped. We went out, but everyone else was arrested. Li Yaozu and I also found a magic nest and found a lot of stolen property from Qinyan sect. As for the rest, I don't know much. We only got Bailey when we arrived at Qingyefang. News of a real person being intercepted and killed. Since my ancestor established the family here, we have never seen a demonic monk. Why are there so many more golden elixir demonic cultivators now? Wen Hao, are you sure the people from the Lu family are demon cultivators? Wang Guanan asked at this time. Wang Hao thought about it carefully. It should be a demon cultivator, but I felt strange when the ancestor asked me this. Rumor has it that the demon cultivators are vicious, and their temperament changes greatly due to practicing kung fu, but I have come into contact with several of them, and it seems that they are not so. At first I thought it was because they had just started practicing magic and their minds had not been eroded yet. Did the ancestor mean that they were not pure magic cultivators? When Wang Guanan saw Wang Hao looking at him, he stretched out his hand and a map appeared, which was the distribution map of the entire Lijiao Peninsula. He slowly said, there are more than 10 medium-sized forces in the Lijiao Peninsula. Let's not talk about the others. We only talk about the Burning Heaven sect and Wuliang Palace, which are bordering the Qingyuan sect. The three forces have dissatisfaction with each other. There was an outbreak 300 years ago. In the Great War, 4 Golden Core cultivators were killed in that war. Among them, the Burning Sky sect suffered the greatest loss, losing 2 Golden Core cultivators, so they also lost the most territory. At that time, the Qingyuan sect had the intention of annexing the Burning Sky sect, but it was a bitter dream. Wuliang Palace was afraid that the Qingyuan sect would continue to expand after it became bigger, so it united with the Burning Sky sect to fight against the Qingyuan sect. However, although the two families were temporarily united, they could not interact with each other. There was no trust, which led to the fact that even though the strength exceeded the Qingyuan sect, it could not recover the lost ground. Wuliang Palace also took the opportunity to ask for a large amount of benefits from Burning Heaven sect. The three families formed a balance of power, and there was peace for more than 300 years. During this period, the Burning Heaven sect cultivated 3 golden elixir monks in succession. Even after one of them was transformed, there are still 4 golden elixir monks. Their strength has changed from the weakest to the strongest. 300 years ago, they ate big loss. Now I'm afraid I'm going to take action. Chapter 150. Guess. What? My uncle said that it was the Burning Sky sect that did this, not some demonic cultivator. After listening to Wang Guanan's story, Wang Longyu couldn't help but stood up in shock. Although the good and the evil coexist in the South China Sea, the forces are strictly divided. We are in the right way, or in the hinterland. How could the demonic cultivators suddenly cause chaos? Do they want to start a war with the right way again? Now the good and the evil are united to fight against the demon clan, and the demonic way. There is absolutely no way they are causing trouble in the hinterland of Jingdao at this time. Wang Guanan said firmly. He stood up, walked back and forth for a few steps, and continued his analysis. Then the Lu family should be the chess pieces cultivated by the Burning Sky sect, but the Lu family didn't know it. The Burning Sky sect recruited half-assed demon sect skills, which led them to practice. It only looks like it, not a pure demonic cultivator. Section 78. You are listening at novelfull.audio. From the very beginning, the Qingyuan sect's trade route was blocked because of the Burning Sky sect's plan. The Qingyuan sect couldn't stand it, so they sent troops to destroy the Lu family, and they sent people to set up an ambush halfway. If that's the case, then it must be the Golden Pill of the Burning Heaven sect who intercepted and killed Bailey Xuanhuan. It should be clear if it's the demonic cultivator Qingyuan sect. Why didn't they take action? Wang Hao asked doubtfully. Wang Yanzhao and Wang Longyu also looked at Wang Guanan. Wang Guanan glanced at the 3 people present. Since you all have this doubt, you should understand that the Burning Sky sect can also think of it. The Qingyuan sect's intention is probably to use silence. If the Burning Sky sect makes a move, the Qingyuan sect will, but if they don't take the move, then the Burning Sky sect must make another move. Whether it's an army pressing down or other actions, they must be prepared in advance. Each of the 3 families has a traitor, and the Qingyuan sect cannot know it in advance to prepare for it. But isn't this still a passive beating? Does the Qingyuan sect have any backup plans? Wang Hao was still puzzled. Wang Guanan also frowned when he heard this, and after a long time he said, Du Guangqiao has been in the late stage of golden elixir for many years. It is calculated that his lifespan is only about 420 years old. Is he trying to attack the nascent soul? By the way, didn't the news that came before say that it was because the Jindan monks returned to the sect early that the Qingyuan sect's caravan was intercepted? Wang Longyu suddenly woke up. What can be better than guarding the caravan? Important. Did they really buy spiritual objects to assist in the birth of babies in Xuanhuan continent? This makes sense. As long as Du Guangqiao successfully conceives a baby, then the Burning Sky sect will not worry about it. How much they eat today will be spit out twice as much in the future. No wonder the Qingyuan sect doesn't do anything. There is nothing better than protecting Du Guangqiao now. Is having a baby more important? Wang Guanan suddenly sighed and sighed. The matter was straightened out in this way. The Xuanhuan sect went to the Xuanhuan continent to purchase the Yingying spiritual object. This matter was kept highly confidential. Only the 3 Jindan members of the Xuanhuan sect knew about it. The Burning Sky sect did not know. But the Burning Sky sect knew about the Xuanhuan sect's caravan. After all, it was not a very confidential matter. The Xuanhuan sect would always go there every 10 years or so, and the selection of suitable disciples and the collection of goods could not be kept confidential, so the Burning Sky sect leaked the news to the devil cultivators from the Lu family. These demon cultivators didn't know that what they wanted to intercept was the Xuanhuan sect's caravan. Out of anger, the Lu family had abandoned their son from the beginning, with the purpose of attracting the Xuanhuan sect's Jindan monks to dispatch so that they could kill 1 or 2 and clear the way for the subsequent war. Although the Burning Sky sect has 1 more golden elixir, Xuanhuan sect relies on the large formation, and it is basically impossible for them to take down the Xuanhuan sect, so they have this plan. It seems that their plan is successful so far. Bailey Zhenren is seriously injured and cannot take action in the short term, for golden elixirs were fighting against 2. Even if the opponent had the formation to rely on, the balance of victory had already tilted towards the Burning Sky sect, and there was some collusion between the Burning Sky sect and Wuliang Palace. But what they didn't calculate was that Du Guangqiao would attack Yuanying at this time, so after suffering a loss, they stayed behind closed doors and called his disciples back to the mountain to protect him. Now the Xuanhuan sect cannot even appease the affiliated forces under the sect, leaving them panic-stricken. Once the Burning Sky sect launches an attack at this time, I believe that there will be many families who will turn to the Burning Sky sect. The Xuanhuan sect is also betting that if Du Guangqiao successfully conceives a baby, all problems will be solved, and the betrayed family will be liquidated along with the Burning Tian sect. If it fails, there will naturally be nothing to say, and Xuanhuan Mountain will definitely have to be renamed. Then what should we do? Wang Yanzhao frowned. He is now the head of the family. Although the family has been prosperous in the past few years, it is all due to Wang Hao. If this response is not handled properly, he will become the sinner of the family. Wang Guanan groaned. 2 preparations. First, before the Xuanhuan sect blocks the teleportation array, immediately transfer a group of clan members overseas. In this way, even if Du Guangqiao fails to conceive a baby and the Xuanhuan sect is breached by the Burning Sky sect, my Wang family will still be the same. Can establish a family overseas and develop again, and secondly, start gathering resources to prepare for the next war. He looked at Wang Hao. Wang Hao, you choose your tribe members immediately and prepare to go overseas. Don't come back within 50 years after leaving this time. Everything will wait until the dust settles here. Uncle, are you a little worried? What if it is really a demon cultivator? Wang Longyu said. Wang Guanan said calmly, even if it is a demon cultivator, wouldn't it be a good countermeasure for our Wang family to branch out? Wang Hao thought for a while. It was good to go out and stay away from right and wrong, but it would be bad for those who stayed. The small foundation building family was nothing more than pawns and cannon fodder in the eyes of those sections. Maybe the Wang family would really be destroyed. In this fight, the Wang family had given him a lot of help, and Wang Hao had known many of his clan members over the years. Could he just watch them die and remain indifferent? Wang Hao asked himself that he couldn't do it in his heart. He has never been a selfish person. When his life was at stake, he would definitely leave without saying a word. But the situation is not clear now. It has not reached that point, but no matter what the situation is in the future, whether it is as they guessed, if the Wang family has a golden elixir monk, all forces will not be able to ignore the Wang family, nor will they dare to bully the Wang family wantonly. Ancestor, I think it's you who should leave, not me. Oh, tell me the reason. Wang Guanan raised his head and looked at Wang Hao. Whether it's me or anyone else, it's difficult to rebuild our family overseas. Overseas is not like land. Without golden core monks, we can't occupy the island. Without territory, we can't settle too many clansmen. We can only develop in Vientiane City. And Wanxiang City is full of monks. With a power like ours, how can our family grow? The only one who can form an elixir in a short period of time is you, ancestor, and it is best for you to go there. As long as you successfully form an elixir, you can stay overseas and re-establish your family, or you can return to Wangjiling to defend your family. Ancestor, Wang Hao is right. As long as you successfully form the elixir, our Wang family will be able to survive better whether overseas or on land. Since the Qingyuan sect can give up many interests and the prestige of so many years of business for Du Guangchao's birth, my Wang family can do it too. Wang Yanzhao also advised at this time. Wang Guang'an hesitated for a moment. Why can't we go together? Wang Hao said, that target is too big. Although the monks guarding the teleportation array of Qingyuan sect didn't detect anything last time we went overseas, the situation is different now. My Wang family will definitely be targeted for such a big move, even the ancestor. We must also restrain our cultivation aura to avoid being discovered by the Qingyuan sect. Chapter 151 Countermeasures. Wang Longyu bowed his hand to Wang Guang'an. Uncle, the family still needs to keep a few foundation-building monks. After all, the situation is not clear now. If everything is just us trying to catch the wind, the loss to the family will be too great. After all, King Niafang, we have been operating in this area for hundreds of years. Besides, we can leave, but what about the low-level monks in the family? Not to mention whether the Qingyuan sect will stop us, but if they don't stop us, we have so many spiritual stones to pay the bill. Besides, there is no movement in the Qingyuan sect now, but once the Burning Heaven sect provokes a war, the Qingyuan sect will definitely summon the family forces. If Du Guangchao really gets married, my Wang family's collective escape will definitely make him angry. My uncle is the not there is no chance of Dan returning to Qingyuanfang. No one cares about his own path, but after all, Wang Guang'an has worked hard for the Wang family all his life, and now he has to be protected by his descendants. However, he understood in a moment that he is indeed the key to breaking the current situation. King Niafang is not suitable for attacking the golden elixir. He didn't dare to bet on whether the Qingyuan sect would help him, so the best way was to escape overseas and return after forming a pill. With the Qingyuan sect as a model in front of them, the Wang family can just learn to do it. Well, since you all think so, I won't be pretentious anymore, Wang Guang'an said in a serious tone and looked at Wang Yanzhao. Yanzhao, you immediately select 30 disciples with good qualifications. No cultivation is required, only age and age are required. Qualifications, at least 10 of them must have studied the various arts of cultivating immortals. Yanzhao, go and do it immediately. Wang Yanzhao responded with clasped fists and walked out of the palace. Wang Guang'an looked at Wang Longyu again. Longyu, go and arrange the inheritance of skills and materials that need to be taken away, as well as the carriages and horses. Although Qingyuan sect has not closed the teleportation array, I am not planning to take away the teleportation array from Qingyuan this time. Let's go, I will take the clan members around Wuliangfang city and take the teleportation array to go overseas. Wang Longyu said, my uncle has thought it through. Although it will take 3 more months, it will be much safer. I will make arrangements right away. After that, he walked out of the teleportation hall. Wang Guang'an watched the two of them leave, then looked back at Wang Hao. Are you really not going to go with me? In a time of great strife, it is also a time of change. If our Wang family wants to be strong, it is not enough for our ancestors to condense the golden elixir. We have to do something. Don't worry, ancestors. If the situation is really dangerous, I will find a way to protect it. Family and myself, Wang Hao will not change what has been decided easily. In order to help Wang Guang'an improve the success rate of refining the 9-pill gold liquid, Wang Hao decided to take out the 3rd-level low-grade alchemy furnace he had obtained. Ancestor, this blue dragon furnace was obtained by me from the alchemy sect, and this 3rd-level spiritual water is produced by the alchemy sect's spiritual veins. They can both increase the success rate of alchemy and help me better. Zhu advanced to the 3rd level of alchemy master. Then he took out a large number of elixirs. These are the elixirs for refining the 9-pill gold liquid, but there are still some missing items. Ancestor can slowly look for them in Vientiane City. These elixirs are not rare, so you should be able to find them. Wang Guanan stared at the blue dragon furnace for a while. This was the first time he had seen a magic weapon-level alchemy furnace. He didn't know what to say for a while. Wang Hao brought him too many surprises, thousands of words were all false. In the end, Wang Guanan only said, with the help of these two treasures, my success rate in refining the 9 elixir gold liquid is over 70%. With 2 gold yuan fruits, I may be able to refine it. 1 portion. With the addition of your dust-falling pill, my success rate is over 70%, that the success rate of forming a pill is 70%, which is not low. For someone with 5 spiritual roots like Wang Hao, even with the assistance of these 2 spiritual objects, the success rate is less than 50%. Add in the ice muscle and jade bone skill that he cultivates. It can reach 60%, however, although the success rate of forming a pill is not high, he is a practitioner of both body and law. Even if he fails, he will not be seriously injured. After more than 10 years of cultivation, he can still attack again. With the first experience, the third time it will be much easier the second time. Since war is predicted, preparations go beyond simply sending tribesmen overseas to leave a way out. The next day, some senior officials of the Wang family took action. The Wang family currently controls 2 spiritual mountains, namely Wangjiling and Ruojuan Mountain, both of which are second-level high-grade spiritual veins. King Niafang enjoys 20% of the revenue. In addition, there are 7 first-level spiritual mountains. There are 3 affiliated families. If some of the small spiritual veins in Junshan have not yet been developed, they must be shelved now and concentrate their manpower to prepare for war. There are also some small strongholds that are difficult to defend, so a large number of family monks were gathered to fill the 2 main strongholds of Wangjiling and Ruojuan Mountain. The 2 Jindan sects went to war. Even if Qingyuan sect took a defensive posture, the war would not end in a day. Once it became a protracted war, it would be a battle of resources and foundation. Various talismans, elixirs for restoring spiritual power and healing, etc., are all important war resources. There is never enough, only more the better. Even if the Wang family has many alchemists, spiritual medicine is not enough, so Wang Yanzhao ordered all elixir shops to stop selling some important elixirs, and at the same time increase the purchase price of spiritual medicines and buy spiritual medicines in large quantities. Other families were not fools. Seeing the abnormal behavior of Qingyuan's sect, they also guessed that they might face war. Not long after the Wang family started to act, they also rushed to scramble for resources. The prices of spiritual medicine and other resources rose for a while. The 4 families in King Niafang sent people to find the Wang family, hoping that the Wang family could sell them a batch of spiritual pills. In the past, the Wang family would naturally be happy to do this big business, but now, the Wang family itself is not enough and it is impossible to support them. However, resource exchange is possible. The talismans of the Li family and the magic tools of the Lei family can be exchanged. Each family holds 1 or several scarce materials, and no one can get too much advantage. King Niafang, as the frontier to Duanyuan Mountains, gathers a large number of independent cultivators. After the 5 major families stopped selling related materials, they were greatly affected. After all, hunting monsters or collecting herbs in the mountains also requires the preparation of magic tools, talismans and pills. They also quickly realized the seriousness of the problem and began to deal with the 5 families. They did not use spiritual stones for settlement, but bartered, using the spiritual medicines and monster materials in their hands for various resources. As a result, the spirit stone has become the most useless thing in King Niafang. However, there are also casual cultivators who have mastered the art of cultivating immortals and took the opportunity to make a lot of money. Wang Yanzhao finally selected 31 outstanding children, including Wang Wenxian, who is more hardworking, and Wang Wuyan, who is less than 10 years old. In general, they are not very old, and only 5 are over 30 years old. They are mainly asked to take care of these children and teach them skills with their experience. The extra one is Zhou Yu. After all, Xuanhuan promised to take good care of her, and it is safest to take her overseas. The winemaking recipes offered by Xuanhuan include several first-level wine recipes and 4 second-level wine recipes, which are not low in value. If the Wang family manages well, it is not difficult to use this output to support 30 or 50 clansmen. Therefore, Wang Yanzhao and others also agree with this matter. The Wang family is not a black-hearted capitalist, and there are also offerings from other surnames in the family. At this critical moment, they still have to set an example for them to see, so that they can do their best for the Wang family in the war. These 31 clansmen, together with Wang Wenyan and others who were already overseas, were the fire of the Wang family. Wang Hao handed the Feiyan boat to Wang Guanan, so that they could enter and exit overseas more conveniently. He also had the extremely fast Sun and Moon shuttle and the hidden spirit boat seized from the demon cultivators. The Feiyan boat was no longer useful to him. Unfortunately, the Feiyan boat was too small to take so many people away. In order to save time, Wang Hao decided to send them off. He didn't know what was going on at Wuliang Palace, so it would be safer for 2 foundation builders to travel together. Chapter 152 Fire. Before departure, in a secret place in Wangjiling, Wang Hao and Wang Guanan looked at the 31 people. Many of you are still young. If you are asked to leave the family and your parents, many people may not understand and are unwilling to do so. But all this is for the family. You are the beneficiaries. I say this in the hope that you can understand the family's painstaking efforts. If the family survives this difficult time, you will naturally be able to come back in the future, but once the family is destroyed, you are the hope for the family to rise again, so you must work hard to practice and regard rebuilding the family as your responsibility. Look up and look at me, Wang Guanan asked loudly. What is your last name? Hearing this, the 30 people were slightly stunned, and then they said loudly, our last name is Wang. Yes, you must always remember that your last name is Wang, and you are from the Qingniafang Wang family. You have the blood of the Wang family flowing in your body. Don't let the family down. Our last name is Wang, and the blood of the Wang family flowing in our bodies. We will definitely not let the family down. Everyone replied loudly, and the scene seemed very tragic. Let's go. Wang Guanan waved his hand, and 31 people boarded the flying boat one by one. Even if Wang Hao used the Sun and Moon shuttle to carry 4 people, it was still not enough. Fortunately, there was Yaya, so it was not a problem to carry 5 or 6 children. Under the control of Wang Hao and Wang Guanan, everyone slowly flew into the sky. Many of them were flying for the first time, but at this moment, there was no trace of curiosity on their faces. They all looked back at Wangjiling, where they grew up, where their relatives and friends were. If a war really broke out and developed in a direction that was unfavorable to the Wang family, they might not be able to return here in this life. Master, where are we going? Zhou Yu raised his little face and looked at Wang Hao on the Sun and Moon shuttle and asked. Go to Wanxiang City, where the spiritual energy is more abundant and more suitable for cultivation. Wang Hao touched her little head. Master will not be around in the future, you have to listen to Sister Wenxian, understand? Master is not going with us. Master has more important things to do. Wang Hao smiled. Wait a while, I will visit you, then it will be a good time to check your cultivation. Don't be lazy. No, Yuer is the most serious. If you don't believe it, ask Sister Wenxian. So you answered seriously. Hearing this, Wang Wenxian smiled. That's right, Yuer is the most obedient. So have you memorized the book 100 Essentials for Cultivation of Immortality? So you blushed. Almost. I'll recite it now, and I'll finish it in a while. Then he took out a book and started to read it seriously. Wang Hao shook his head and smiled bitterly. Who hasn't been lazy when they were children? He looked at Wang Wenxian and said, Wenxian, although the family has a store as a base overseas, you should know that it is not your home after all. You must be cautious in what you say and do. Yes, 5th brother, Wenxian has taken note. Well, in addition, you have a good talent in alchemy, you must practice diligently. On the Feiyan boat, Wang Guanan saw that many tribesmen were as listless as eggplants hit by frost, and asked, What are you doing? Ancestor, if we leave like this and leave our parents, wives and children behind, isn't it a cowardly act? Wang Wenyong, who was in his 30s, questioned. The ones selected were all young tribesmen, at the age of blood and vigor. How many of them would be willing to be cowards and run away? So they spoke out one after another. Chapter 79. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yes, ancestor, let us go back. We are willing to live and die with the family. Yes, live and die with the family. Nonsense. Wang Guanan cursed, turned around and looked at everyone. Do you all think so? That everyone lowered their heads and dared not speak, but the expressions on their faces had already explained the problem. Ancestor, I will go with you. Do you also think that the ancestor is a coward? Wang Guanan suddenly raised his voice. Wang Guanan, have been working for the family since I was 18 years old. I have fought all the way and suffered countless injuries. I almost died in the beast tide 100 years ago. In the past few years, I opened up Ruojuan Mountain and fought against the monsters. I was also the first to fight. A coward, that everyone was shocked. Yes, how could the ancestor be a coward? Ancestor, that's not what we meant. What do you mean? You have good qualifications, but your cultivation is low. Even if you stay, how much can you help the family? Just to prove your courage. Wang Guanan put away his stern look and said slowly, going to Wanxiang City is to keep a hope for the family. You are not a coward. If you really want to do something for the family, you must work hard to practice and return to Wangjiling in the future, so that no one dares to look down on you. This is what you should do, not be a brave man. That some of the people still didn't understand, but some had cheered up again, clenched their fists and looked in the direction of Wangjiling. Wang Guanan nodded with satisfaction, stared at the front again, and concentrated on operating the flying boat. The flying boat flew out of Wangjiling quickly, slowly getting smaller in the air until it could no longer be seen. Wang Hao and Wang Guanan flew the flying boat for 2 months before reaching the sphere of influence of Wuyang Palace. After flying for another half a month, they finally arrived at Wuliangfang City without any danger. Wang Hao watched them disappear into the teleportation array. At his insistence, Wang Guanan finally took the foundation building pills he brought back to the family to Wanxiang City. After all, there was no one in the family who was suitable for foundation building at the moment. If they stayed, they might be easy targets for the enemy, so it was better to take them away. Wang Hao naturally wanted to refine as many foundation building pills as he wanted. If Wang Guanan didn't take them away, he would definitely have to buy them in Wanxiang City in a few years. Not to mention whether he could buy them, where would the spiritual stones come from? The pill shop probably couldn't make ends meet with so many people, and the merchants that were still targeting the Wang family's pill shop, which Wang Guanan probably couldn't solve. For the sake of spiritual stones, they would definitely risk going out to sea to hunt monsters. Not to mention the danger, the most important thing is that it would delay Wang Guanan's formation of the foundation pill. With these few foundation pills, those clansmen would not have to purchase them for at least 20 years. If Wang Guanan could not successfully form the pill after 20 years, he would not be far from sitting in the ground. Wang Hao returned directly to Xuanhuan Market through the teleportation array of Wuliang Market. Because the distance was short, the cost was not high. Walking on the streets of Xuanhuan Market, Wang Hao obviously felt that it was much quieter. There were fewer independent cultivators, but there were still many family cultivators. They were in a hurry. Most of them were purchasing supplies, and some were asking about the situation. Wang Hao went directly to Xuanhuan Pavilion and looked for Chen Qing with a try mentality. Unexpectedly, she was still here. Sister Chen, long time no see. Brother Wang, why are you here? Seeing Wang Hao, Chen Qing was obviously a little surprised. Wang Hao glanced outside. Now it is widely rumored that Xuanhuan's sect is going to face a war, and our family is also worried, so they sent me to get the news. Chen Qing shook his head. Brother Wang, I can't help you with this matter. It's not that I don't want to say it, but I may not know as much as you do. I can only tell you that it is right to prepare early. Now the sect is also recalling disciples who are out for training and collecting supplies. Even the foundation building pills promised to each family last time to eliminate the demon cultivators are no longer distributed. There may really be a war. What? The foundation building pills are not distributed. So many cultivators died in the last battle. Didn't the sect compensate them? Wang Hao was a little speechless. According to convention, if the foundation building cultivators of the family died while working for the sect must compensate them with a foundation building pill. Is Xuanhuan's sect going to give up? This approach is bound to make the forces under the sect feel disheartened and then turn to the Burning Heaven sect. Is Du Guangqiao so confident that he can definitely form an infant? Chapter 153. Get the news. I didn't say I won't send it, but I just want to postpone it. With more than a dozen foundation building people killed or injured, the sect needs to refine at least 3 furnaces of foundation building pills. But now the second elder is injured, the first elder has been in seclusion for many years, and the third elder can't go alone to hunt down third-level monsters and extract demon pills. Chen Qing said slowly, "Don't say foundation building pills, even other pills are not sold outside the sect now." Alas, the situation is difficult. Wang Hao sighed, and then asked, "Then I'm afraid that the exploration of the ruins that senior sister mentioned last time can't be carried out." Chen Qing nodded dejectedly. The sect will not allow disciples to travel for a long time now, especially for dangerous things like exploring secrets. But we have prepared everything we need. After this period of time, maybe we can set off. Brother Wang, are you willing to go then? Wang Hao smiled bitterly. Wang's family is weak, so let's survive this disaster first. If we can get through it safely, I will definitely reply to Sister Chen. There are still things in the clan, so I won't bother Sister Chen anymore. Chen Qing also sighed. They spent their savings to buy the intelligence. Now that they are delayed, who knows if someone will get there first. Get up and send Wang Hao out. Wang Hao didn't find out any new information, but Chen Qing's revelation confirmed part of the Wang family's guess. Du Guangqiao did retreat for many years. He was in the late Jindan stage and was not injured. What was the purpose of retreating for many years? Regardless of the others, whether it is the demon cultivator or the burning sky sect, there will definitely be a big battle next. In this case, Qingyuanfang City must have been a key area to be attacked at that time, and there was no need for the Wang family to leave so many people. In the past few years, Xuanhuan's spirit wine was brewed well. The Wang family's business in Qingyuanfang City was much better, and they also sent a few more clan members to practice. Their qualifications were not good, but Wang Hao would not let them wait to die here. Returning to the family can also strengthen the family's defense power. When Wang Hao went to the store, he found that it was closed. Wang Yanji saw Wang Hao and hurriedly took his hand to the backyard and said eagerly, "Wen Hao, has the family received my news?" After the Qingyuan sect chose to retreat uncharacteristically, the first thing to react was Qingyuanfang City. Wang Yanji was sitting here. After receiving the news, it was immediately spread to the family. Wang Hao knew it and nodded. "Uncle Yanji, the news has been received a long time ago." In fact, the family who received the news about the attack on Qingyuan Gate also guessed something and is already preparing for war. That's good. Wang Yanji breathed a sigh of relief after hearing this, sat down and said, "I also bought some supplies at a high price from the casual cultivators I know well. Many casual cultivators have already evacuated when they heard that something was wrong. They sold off a lot of resources, but unfortunately I had limited spiritual stones and couldn't buy many. It would be good to have it," Wang Hao thought to himself. Wang Yanji has been in Qingyuanfang for many years, and he is not bad in all aspects. Now that he is just 60, there is still hope for foundation building. Wang Hao decided to refine a furnace of foundation building for him. Dan, if the family has one more foundation, it will be easier to face the upcoming war. Uncle Yanji, arrange for someone to clean up immediately, and I will take you back. What about the shop? A trace of reluctance flashed in Wang Yanji's eyes. This shop was regarded as his hard work and he ran it bit by bit with his own hands. How could he give up so easily now? He gritted his teeth and said, "How about you take Wenli and the others back? I'll stay." "Uncle Yanji, what's the use of staying alone?" Wang Hao urged. It's not that my nephew is harsh, but you, a qi refining monk, really can't control the next situation. That's what I say, but always leave someone to guard the store, otherwise it won't be stolen by those casual cultivators. We'll just take away the valuables such as elixirs, medicines, spirits, and wine. How many spiritual stones are the remaining shelves worth? Besides, once King Xuanhuan is lost, Uncle Yanji, do you think this store can still be saved? That whether it is the Burning Heaven sect or other forces, they have attacked Banshanfang City, and they have come all the way, so they cannot return empty-handed. Subsequent comfort is a follow-up matter. How can they not take advantage of the immediate benefits? Wang Hao took 2 steps forward and whispered, Uncle Yanji, this time I brought back a few foundation building pills. You have now reached the 9th level of Qi training, so you can give it a try. The Foundation Establishment Pill, me. Hearing the Foundation Establishment Pill, Wang Yanji was obviously stunned for a moment, and then shook his head, I'm over 60 years old, so it's not appropriate. Don't waste the Foundation Establishment Pill. If the family thinks about it, I still have some hard work to do, so give it to Wenjing. Wang Wenjing is his youngest daughter and Wang Hao's 18th sister. She is only 23 years old this year. She has 3 spiritual roots and fairly good qualifications. She should be able to reach the 9th level of Qi training before she is 50. Uncle Yanji, I shouldn't tell you this, but you are Wenjing's father, and I believe you will not harm her, Wang Hao said quietly. Wenjing has gone overseas with our ancestors, and you have nothing to do with her foundation building. Don't worry. What? Overseas? Wang Yanji exclaimed. Although he was in King Xuanhuan City, guarding the teleportation formation, he had never gone out. There were also some overseas visitors in King Xuanhuan City, who often talked about the wealth and opportunities overseas. Which made him envious. He didn't expect that his daughter had already passed away. In the past few years, I traveled to King Xuanhuan many times, and I went overseas through the teleportation array. Not only Wenjing, but also Wen Yan, Wen Mei and the others were also overseas, and now they have established a foundation. Wang Hao revealed another one breaking news. Wang Yanji waved his hands quickly, don't tell me these words. This is a secret of the Wang family. Once it is leaked, I will become a sinner of the Wang family. Wang Hao smiled. This Uncle Yanji is quite responsible. He saw the right person. So Uncle Yanji, you need to build a foundation. If you want to keep these secrets, you must have enough strength. Although you are over 60 years old, but you are not yet 80, the chances of building a foundation are still high. Your family also has a pulse-protecting pill. Even if you fail, you can still save your life. Why don't you dare to give it a try? Aren't I afraid of wasting precious foundation-building pills? Wang Yanji has been in business for many years and loves to care about gains and losses. Hey, no matter how precious the foundation establishment pill is, how can it be as valuable as the foundation establishment monk? The family spent all their money to purchase the foundation establishment pill from overseas, isn't it just to give the family a few more foundation establishment cultivators? Nowadays, all the suitable and good seedlings have been sent overseas. Left as the family's backbone, the old and the young are left behind, only you, Uncle Yanji, are the most suitable. If you don't use it, the foundation establishment pill will only lose its medicinal properties in the warehouse. Wang Yanji was finally persuaded by Wang Hao and made up his mind, okay, I will go back with you. If you can build a foundation, my life will be sold to the family from now on. Wang Hao joked, if I don't give you the foundation establishment pill, you won't work hard for the family. After saying that, both of them couldn't help laughing. Wang Hao found Zhou Renhe again and asked him to go with him, but Zhou Renhe refused, saying that his wish was over, his life was short, and he would die in King Xuanhuan. He also said that he was sorry for Wang Hao and that he could no longer teach the Wang family's brewing apprentices for him. Wang Hao persuaded him a few times, but he remained unmoved. In the end, he had no choice but to let him stay and guard the store. At the same time, he told him that Zhou was safe now and asked him not to worry. After everyone packed up, Wang Hao took Wang Yanji and the other 6 people and left Qingyuanfang, embarking on their return journey. Chapter 154 Full Pills. After returning to the family, he first refined a furnace of foundation building pills, arranged for Wang Yanji to go into seclusion, and then found Wang Yanzhao. Old Wang, I'm back. Uncle Yanji has already practiced qi at the 9th level, so I asked him to go to build a foundation. At this time, there is one more foundation building cultivator, and the family will have one more help. Wang Yanzhao has been very busy recently, and his spirit and energy seem to be much worse. When he saw Wang Hao, he didn't even raise his head and said directly, "You can arrange it." By the way, where did the foundation building pill come from? Didn't the ancestors take it away? I still have one in my hand, which was originally reserved for Uncle Yanji. When I went overseas, I saw that his cultivation speed was good, and I thought he should be able to build a foundation. Wang Hao answered casually. Wang Yanzhao frowned, but said nothing. He then took out a storage bag and said, "You just came back, so I shouldn't bother you anymore. But now many of the family's alchemists have gone overseas, so no one is making these spiritual medicines. Your 6th uncle has gone into seclusion to make medicines. Here are the remaining materials. Take them. You should know the current situation in the Qingyuanmen area and the family. The cultivators in the family really need this batch of spiritual medicines to speed up their cultivation and quickly improve their cultivation. They also need some healing pills to prepare for future wars." Wang Hao nodded seriously. "Since I have chosen to stay, I naturally have to contribute to the family. Old Wang, you should also pay attention to rest. I will go to make medicine and try to use up this batch of materials as soon as possible." After that, Wang Hao left the meeting hall and went directly to the alchemy room. There are still a few old first-level alchemists left in the family. Wang Hao doesn't need to worry about most of the first-level elixirs needed. Only some special elixirs such as Zhu Shendan need Wang Hao's help to refine. There are many young cultivators in the family now. The demand is relatively large for first-level low-grade elixirs and first-level medium-grade elixirs. The consumption of second-level elixirs is not large. Even if Wang Yanji, Wang Yanpeng, and Wang Wenyuan are counted, there are only 6 foundation-building cultivators left in the Wang family, so most of them are used to exchange resources with the Li and Lei families. Wang Hao came to the Dan Hall. The Wang family did not have the ground fire. In fact, it was the same for Wang Hao to refine elixirs in his own cave. However, the Dan Hall was more convenient. There was everything. There were also people who came from time to collect the refined elixirs, saving Wang Hao from running back and forth. First open the storage bag, classify the spiritual medicines in it, and put them in one furnace after another. In the end, there were more than 70 furnaces in total, and 40 furnaces of second-level elixirs. It might take him half a year to refine. There were also several clansmen in the alchemy hall. Seeing Wang Hao coming to make pills, they were ready to serve him. However, Wang Hao was not used to this, so he sent them out and only asked them to come to get pills once a month. Close the alchemy room and start making elixirs. First, the Qi Ju Dan, which Wang Hao was more familiar with, was more suitable for cultivators in the early and middle stages of foundation building. Of course, it was also effective in the later stages, but it was a little worse. Nowadays, there were few cultivators in the late stages of foundation building in Qingyuanfang, so this kind of pill was the most popular. Wang Hao was already a second-level upper-grade alchemist and had refined Qi Ju Dan several times. In the past, the success rate of the pill was about 70%, which was already very high. However, now with the help of spiritual water, Wang Hao planned to strive for a full pill. A full pill is one of the lifelong pursuits of every alchemist. It is not about the economic benefits, but it can prove the skill level of an alchemist. For the second-level lower-grade alchemists, the success rate is the key to distinguish the high and low. If the success rate is 80%, then whether a full pill has been refined becomes another key. People always have to have some goals. Wang Hao now has no other goals to set except pursuing the full pill. A third-level alchemist? That's too far away. Don't consider it before the late stage of foundation building. First clean the pill furnace, stimulate the pill fire, raise the temperature of the pill furnace, and preheat the pill furnace. When the temperature is suitable, put in what spiritual medicine first. What spiritual medicine is put in next? What spiritual medicine is put in last? Wang Hao has done these things countless times, and he is particularly serious at this moment. If he wants to refine a full pill, he can't be careless at any step. Only when the liquid of one spiritual medicine is refined can the next one be put in. After all the extractions are completed, they can be mixed together. The order cannot be messed up, otherwise the medicinal properties will be lost. That's it. Wang Hao has been refining the qi-gathering pill for a month, but he still hasn't been able to refine a full pill, but it's not far away. He has refined 9 pills in the last furnace, and he should be able to refine a full pill in a few more times. 2 months passed, and finally, Wang Hao laughed heartily after opening the alchemy furnace. After he had used up the elixirs given by Wang Yanzhao, he took another batch from the farm. Only then did he manage to refine a full pill. After all, changing to another kind of pill required familiarizing himself with the steps again. Section 80. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After success, Wang Hao was able to refine other elixirs much faster. It took more than half a year to complete the refining of all the elixirs, a total of 270 qi-gathering pills, 100 qi-returning pills, 88 qi-yun pills, 103 yuan healing pills, 17 yuan building pills, and 9 god-gathering pills were obtained. The pill success rate remains above 60%, with only the second-level high-grade Buyuan pill being lower, less than 50%. With such a high rate of elixir formation, he is already the best. Among second-level alchemists, half a year later, the door of the cave that Wang Hao had closed for half a year suddenly opened. Wang Hao stretched out after walking out. In the past 6 months, he has refined hundreds of furnaces of elixirs, and upgraded the Tuhun seal to a high-grade spiritual weapon. He actually obtained a lot of materials from the Danding sect, including third-grade low-grade earth attribute spiritual materials, which can turn earth into the muddy seal as advanced to the magic weapon level, but he didn't do this, mainly because the magic weapon was very powerful and consumed a lot of mana. He only built the 5th level of the foundation. All the mana could only be driven once, and the power was only 20%. Although this 20% could kill the foundation building instantly. In the later stage, I became a monk, but the battles were continuous rather than explosive. Besides, he has a magic weapon in his hand, and the power of the heavenly bracelet is also pretty good. I've met the elder. The waiting tribesman immediately stepped forward to say hello. Wang Hao nodded. The last batch of elixirs has been refined. You can send them, forget it. I'll go find the head of the family in person. You go and clean up the alchemy room. Yes, elder. The 2 tribesmen immediately entered the alchemy room and began to clean it. They were very serious and did not miss every corner. With the help of the tribesmen, Wang Hao saves himself from dealing with some trivial matters, and his efficiency is still much higher. Wang Hao brought the refined elixir to Wang Yanzhao. Fortunately, I have lived up to my mission. I have refined a lot of elixirs. In addition to being able to be used by the monks in the family, I can also exchange some talismans and spiritual weapons from the Li family and the Lei family. Wang Yanzhao has received a batch of them one after another, and he has to lament that Wang Hao's alchemy skills have surpassed him. He is still stuck in the second-level mid-level, and is still some distance away from being a top-level alchemist, but Wang Hao was his son, so he was happy from the bottom of his heart. Yes, Hao, your alchemy skills really surprised my father. Uncle Lu has also made a lot of alchemy. Your uncle Yanji and Wen Yuan have already built the foundation is successful. Just give them a few suitable magic weapons to use. It's a pity that your uncle Yanping failed to build the foundation. Everyone has his own destiny, but with the help of the pulse-protecting pill, Uncle Yanping's foundation should be intact and he can continue to attack after a period of cultivation. Wang Hao sighed and comforted. But where are the foundation-building pills? Wang Yanzhao couldn't help but frowned. The resources wasted by one failure of foundation building is equivalent to more than 40,000 spiritual stones. If it is required twice, it is 80,000. An ordinary foundation building month can take 1 year. It also generates a value of 2 to 3,000 spirit stones, which will take 40 to 50 years to pay off the family's debt. Chapter 155. The Yi family of Xuanhuan Mountain. Wang Hao could only make up lies again. Old Wang, I forgot to tell you that the last time we attacked the demon cultivator, Li Yaozu and I found a demon cultivator's lair. There were 3 foundation building pills in it. The Li family took 2. I want one and the hidden spirit boat. This was half true and half false, and Wang Yanzhao would not go to Li Yaozu for confirmation. But will other clan members have any objections? Are there any other tribesmen who are suitable for foundation building now? If so, just let them exchange it. There is only one condition. No matter whether the foundation building is successful or not, they must pay back the spiritual stones they purchased for foundation building in the future. If one person cannot pay back, they will be punished. Come back home. Wang Hao secretly laughed in his heart. He wished there were more people who could build the foundation. Unfortunately, the effects of the early fertility policy had not yet appeared. The oldest of those tribesmen was only 10 years old, and their cultivation level was only at the 2nd or 3rd level of Qi training. It's still early. Burning Sky sect is located in the south of Xuanhuan sect. Compared to Xuanhuan sect, the place they control is already considered the hinterland of mankind. Except for some mountain ranges connected to the Xuanhuan mountain, there are no monsters causing trouble. The Burning Heaven sect now has 4 golden core monks, and they don't have to guard against the monsters in Xuanhuan mountain. But on the other hand, they also lack the means to obtain resources. If they don't develop northward, they can only develop towards the sea, which is more dangerous. On the sea, heading north is undoubtedly a better choice. As the Burning Heaven sect prepares for war, various affiliated forces under its command also take action. The Yi family of Xuanhuan Mountain is also a family with a heritage of 400 years. There are 3 foundation building monks in the family, which are similar in strength to the previous Wang family. There are also more than 100 Qi training monks. At this time, in the meeting hall of the Yi family, a group of foundation building monks were discussing matters. As the master, Yi Jingshan did not sit in the main seat, but accompanied him in the second seat. The leader was a middle-aged man wearing a red robe. The young man looked like he was a late-stage foundation building monk with the coercion emanating from his body. The last few foundation building monks arrived late. After they sat down, this person glanced at everyone and said, "We, the Burning Heaven sect, intend to attack Xuanhuan Gate from the north, and you should also join us, but the ancestor also knows what kind of nature do you have. I don't require you to attack the Xuanhuan sect together. Your mission is the 5 Qingyo families." The 5 Qingyo families are just small families. There are a dozen foundation building monks in total, and there are only 2 late-stage foundation building monks. With your strength, you can win them. The sect doesn't want anything. It only asks you to wipe out the forces of these 5 families. You can allocate their spiritual mountains and many seizures on your own, but if you want the horses to run, you have to let them eat grass. The Burning Heaven sect looks down on these small families, but the families gathered here at this time value them extremely. Among them, Su Minglang, the head of the Beishan Su family, was extremely interested. Their family was located in the south of Qingniafang and had long coveted the prosperity of Qingniafang. Unfortunately, the previous war between Fenshan sect and Qingyuan sect was lost. As a subsidiary family of Fenshan sect, how could they dare to make trouble? Elder Ji, according to my Su family's understanding, the most difficult family among the 5 families in Qingyo is the Lei family. The Lei family started with refining tools, and they must have a lot of tools in their hands. Moreover, Lei Liheng is a cultivator of the 9th level of foundation building, and his strength is extraordinary. The Lei family has a total of 4 foundation building people, and their strength is the best in Qingniafang. The second one should be the Wang family. The Wang family is an alchemy family. As far as I know, they have 3 second-level alchemists. The strongest person in the Wang family is Wang Guang'an, who is at the 9th level of foundation building. This person was seriously injured in his early years and has been recuperating in the family. But in recent years, he has begun to show up outside again. Even if he has not recovered, he should have recovered. The Wang family also has 4 foundation building people, but there are 2 cultivators in the early stage of foundation building, and they are proficient in alchemy, fighting skills, and fighting skills. The experience is a little worse. Then there is the Li family. The Li family is a family of talisman makers. There is no late foundation building cultivator, only 2 mid-foundation building cultivators and 1 early foundation building cultivator. But they have a lot of second-level spiritual talismans in their hands, so we still have to be careful. Su Minglang roughly talked about the 5 families of Qingyo. Hearing these words, Yi Jingshan frowned and said, "So, the strength of the 5 families of Qingyo is not much worse than ours. If we attack in a dispersed manner and fight one against another, I'm afraid we won't get any advantage. On the contrary, the enemy can wait for us to tire, and there is also a mountain protection formation to rely on. Yes, if this is the case, even if we rely on a surprise attack and take it down by chance, the loss will be considerable, and it will not be worth the loss." The head of the Fengqinghe family also said. Su Minglang smiled and said, "Then why don't we join forces and attack one family at a time?" "Not appropriate," said a grey-clothed cultivator in the middle stage of foundation building. He was Gu Lizhan, the head of the Lingshuigu family. "If so, we can easily defeat one family, but the other 4 families will definitely be alert. If they cut off their arms and retreat to one place, we will not be able to defeat them later. Dispersing is not possible, and joining forces is not possible either. What do you think we should do?" Su Minglang spread his hands and said helplessly. Gu Lizhan smiled faintly and said, "We can join forces to attack one family. In this way, we can ensure that each team has more foundation-building cultivators than the other side. Even if the remaining 2 families are alert and fight together, they can't defeat us." "Great, this plan is very good." Elder Ji, who was sitting at the top, also nodded slightly. "The strength of your 6 families is stronger than theirs. Once you eat up 3 of them, the remaining 2 families will naturally not be able to make any waves. So which 3 families should we attack first?" Su Minglang asked. Gu Lizhan groaned. "If you want to lose less, it's best to attack the 3 weaker families first, but if you want to gain more, you have to take down the Lei, Wang, and Li families first." "Why is that?" asked the head of the He family. Brother Su also said that these 3 families have their own strengths. "I believe you all know the value of the inheritance, so I won't say much. In addition, they have earned a lot of spirit stones over the years. In addition, they must have heard a lot of rumors. They should have stockpiled a lot of magic tools and elixirs at home. If we take them down at the beginning, these things will naturally be ours, but if we leave them to fight later, the amount consumed will definitely be a lot. Not to mention the possibility that the clan members may take the spirit stones away. That makes sense. If you can get the alchemy or refining inheritance, it's worth it even if you pay some price." He Junyi's eyes were shining. Their He family spent more than 10,000 spirit stones for the first-level alchemy inheritance last time, and the Wang family has a second-level inheritance. How can he not be tempted? Since everyone agrees, then this matter is settled. You make the allocation and recruit people as soon as possible to start as soon as possible. Elder Ji waved his hand and decided on this matter. What they wanted from the Burning Heaven sect was these people to contain the affiliated forces of the Qingyuan sect and prevent them from supporting the Qingyuan sect. These families argued for a long time about how to allocate them. After all, everyone wanted the alchemy inheritance, and the weapon refining inheritance was not bad either. In order to compete for the quota to attack the Lei and Wang families, they almost fought first. In the end, it was Elder Ji who decided that the Su and He families would attack the Wang family, the Yi and Gu families would attack the Lei family, and the remaining 2 families, which were the weakest, would attack the Li family. After confirming, they began to ask for support from the Burning Heaven sect. It was impossible for the cultivators to attack the Qingyuan sect with a deep foundation. It was already very difficult for the Burning Heaven sect to attack them. It was impossible to send cultivators to support them, but resources could be requested. After all, the Burning Heaven sect had been preparing for a long time and collected a huge amount of resources. Elder Ji looked at the dozen or so Foundation establishment cultivators who were looking forward to it, and said carefully, I am willing to support you with some resources, but for such a big thing, we still have to report to the sect and ask the Jindan Patriarch to make the decision. You should make some preparations first, prepare enough manpower and food, and then send people to King Niafang to gather information. When the sect determines the time for the general attack, we will start together. Elder Ji got a satisfactory result and hurriedly flew back to Fenchen sect to report. Chapter 156 Fenchen sect. Fenchen sect is located in the south of Xuanhuan sect. The territory it controls is slightly smaller than that of Xuanhuan sect. The sect is located on the third-level upper-grade spiritual vein. This is why they covet Xuanhuan sect, not only for the monster resources of Duanyuan Mountain, but also for the fourth-level spiritual vein of Xuanhuan Mountain. Without the fourth-level spiritual vein, they cannot cultivate nascent soul cultivators. Even with the current 4 Jindan, the spiritual vein is not enough. Although they were lucky enough to have an extra golden elixir, Xuanhuan sect's overall strength was still stronger than them due to its rich monster resources and fourth-level spiritual mountains. At the same time, they are also afraid that Du Guangqiao, who will advance to the nascent soul in the later stage of Jindan, will not only lose the opportunity for Burning Heaven sect to make a comeback, but may also be close to destruction. The person in charge of the Burning Heaven sect now is Shading Shan, who has just entered the late stage of the Golden Core. He is extremely talented and has a single attribute heavenly spiritual root. Now he is only over 200 years old and has reached the late stage of the Golden Core. If he were not restricted by his spiritual veins, I am afraid that his cultivation level is improving faster, and he is also eager to obtain the fourth-level spiritual veins to increase the possibility of advancing to the nascent soul. This is the main reason why he launched the war against the Xuanhuan sect. The Burning Heaven sect is also willing to bet that once it obtains the massive resources of the Xuanhuan sect, the chances of Xianxia advancing to the nascent soul will be greatly improved. Maybe in a few decades, they will become the nascent soul sect, and they will have the core interests in the South China Sea. You can also have a foothold in the world. Instead of now, you can only huddle on the edge of the South China Sea. Looking at the Burning Heaven sect monks in the hall, Sha Dingshan asked, how are the preparations of each family? They must be strictly required to attack the affiliated forces of Xuanhuan sect while we are taking action. Ji Shuguang and other monks quickly stepped forward and replied, reporting to the ancestor, after receiving the decree from the ancestor, those families are willing to take action, but they want some resource support such as formation-breaking talismans. Shadingshan groaned and said, the magic talisman can support them appropriately, but we are not enough in medicine ourselves, so let them find their own way. In addition, you guys will follow these family monks and be responsible for supervising the battle. At the same time, you will also prevent any accidents from happening. It's better to inform the sect in time to take measures early. Yes, ancestor. Several people replied in unison. Compared with Xuanhuan sect, attacking these foundation-building families will undoubtedly be much less dangerous, not to mention that they are only supervising the battle and will not lead the charge. Go ahead and tell them to start in 2 months. Sha Dingshan waved his hand for these foundation-building monks to exit. Then he discussed with several Jindan from Burning Heaven sect about attacking Xuanhuan sect. This time they invited several golden elixirs from Wuliang Palace helped. The reason was that the Xuanhuan sect's abnormal reaction also alerted them. Could it be that what the Wang family could guess could not be guessed by the senior officials of the Burning Sky sect? After careful analysis, they understood that Du Guangqiao was most likely attacking Yuanying, and they had to block the Xuanhuan gate to stop him. Wuliang Palace originally wanted to sit on the mountain and watch the tiger fight, and finally take advantage of it, but once a nascent soul monk appeared in the northern part of the Lijiao Peninsula, they themselves would not benefit, so they agreed to the Burning Heaven sect's proposal. However, they only have a few Jindan monks and some foundation-building monks, and they will not mobilize the entire sect. Their purpose is to prevent Du Guangqiao from conceiving a baby, not to destroy the Xuanhuan sect, because once the Xuanhuan sect is destroyed, the Burning Sky sect will be destroyed. There will be no checks and balances, and sooner or later they will be dealt with. There has never been an iron alliance in the world of immortality. They can rebel at any time for the sake of profit, and this benefit not only refers to the immediate, but also the long term. Ji Shuguang quickly returned to the Yi family with some spiritual talismans. As the front line of contact with King Niafang, they will all gather at the Yi family and then attack King Niafang together. Ji Shuguang summoned the heads of the Ji family together again, glanced around indifferently, and then asked, I brought you the magic talisman, what about you? How are you preparing? Yi Jingshan stood up and said, back to Elder Ji, our personnel have been prepared and resources are being allocated. In addition, we have also sent some people to King Niafang to inquire about the news. As expected, the 5 King Niafang families have heard the news and are all preparing for war intensively. Besides these, is there any other useful information? Ji Shuguang looked unhappy. This. Yi Jingshan was a little embarrassed to say, their defense is extremely tight. It was okay for us to go to King Niafang to find out the news, but we were discovered as soon as we got close to their family's headquarters. Several clan members have been poisoned. Because the Yi family is close, most of the people who inquire about information are the Yi family's clan members. The movement of the Foundation establishment would make too much noise, so they only sent some Qi practitioners' clan members there. I don't know whether it was because the tribesmen were inexperienced after not having fought for hundreds of years, or because the 5 families were too vigilant. The Yi family sent out more than a dozen tribesmen, but only 4 came back in the end. There was no news about the rest, and they seemed to have disappeared without a trace. But the 4 tribesmen who came back said that these people went to the family headquarters of the 5 families. It is not difficult to imagine that the result was that they must have been caught or killed directly. Elder Ji, this is not all the fault of the Yi family. The 5 King Niafang families have been dealing with monsters all year round and have rich experience in combat defense. Our people lack experience, which is why they discovered the traces. Ji Shuguang looked at Ji Shuguang during the war in the valley. With a bad look on his face, he quickly explained for Yi Jingshan. When Ji Shuguang heard Yi Jingshan's nonsense, his face turned angrily and he cursed, trash, I asked you to inquire about information, not to scare others away. He snorted coldly, anyway, you are responsible for the attack. If you cause trouble yourself, you can just find a solution by yourself. Several family heads looked at each other, and some of them were even quite unhappy with Yi Jingshan. They couldn't do the job of trying to find out any information. What else was he to do if he wasn't a waste? In fact, it would be the same if it were them. Maybe none of them would come back, but at least 4 of the Yi family would come back. Now that they all know it, we have no choice but to attack them head-on. Forget about those plots and tricks, and let strength speak for itself. He Junyi said helplessly. Su Minglang smiled and said, although they are on guard, they all care about their own affairs. Our 2 families are attacking 1 family, and our strength is more than twice theirs. In addition, with the formation breaking talisman to weaken the formation, it is not difficult to win. Everyone nodded in agreement. This was the only way to do it. How could they let the 5 King Niafang stores do this?